It's time for us to head back to a country on the African continent that is famous for its scenic landscapes and vast wildlife preserves. At just 33 years old, Dennis Muchiri is currently the operations manager at CAP Youth Empowerment Institute in Kenya, where he is responsible for coordinating training activities to support youth employment skills through a competency-based education and training approach. Here is Dennis with the talk on soulful entrepreneurship and how we can connect with our higher self to develop sustainable and conscious solutions for the betterment of society. Over to you, Dennis.
Hello everyone, my name is Dennis Muchiri from CAP Youth Empowerment Institute here in Nairobi, Kenya. CAP Youth Empowerment Institute is an NGO that works towards imparting employability skills to vulnerable youth so that at least they can get livelihood opportunities which can either be wage or self-employment. I'm here in this platform today to talk about soulful entrepreneurship. And I want to take us through the few steps, starting with explaining who a soulful entrepreneur is, what are the tips of ensuring that you are a soulful entrepreneur, and what are some of the benefits of being a soulful entrepreneur. And I'll start this by saying that every human being has that one dream, and most of these dreams revolves around continuity of creation. Like everyone dreams of setting up their own businesses. They dream of creating a very unique features, and the way to do this in most of the times is starting a business or being an entrepreneur. That's how most human beings are given a chance by nature of ensuring that they have ensured the continuity of creation. So it's in us, it's born in us, it's inbuilt in us that we have that craving of creation, of creating a new thing. And the very low hanging fruit of this, or ensuring that we've created a new thing, is being an entrepreneur. And being an entrepreneur is coming in to bridge in a gap of bringing in a solution to a problem that is affecting the community. That's how you become an entrepreneur. And through setting up that business, you have now created a new thing. You feel that you fulfilled your purpose as a human being in terms of creation. But do you think we can do this alone? The answer is no. We need help. We need help to create this new thing. We need help to set up our own businesses. And this help can be divided into two. The way I look at it is that you can get help from a man, that is the earthly help, and you can also get help from divine nature, that divine spirit or person that is above us. And in so doing, it means that if you're getting help from divine nature, you need to align yourself to that divinity. When you're thinking of creating a solution to a problem, when you're thinking of being that entrepreneur, and you're calling on divine nature to assist you in coming for help, then it means you need to align yourself to that divine nature by ensuring that your business has an impact. Your business fulfills that humanly nature. You know, the nature of any human being is to ensure that there's win-win situation. There's that no oppression of any other creation in this world and such like things. So if you are to get help, you get it from two ways. Deep diving now to the word soulful entrepreneur. Who is this person, and why are we bringing the aspect of being soulful in setting up businesses, in a person being an entrepreneur? You'll realize that when you do something from deep within yourself, Deep within yourself is where the soul is. You can never lie to the soul. There's always that connection between the soul and that divine nature. And that's the reason why when you look at your soul, when you deep dive into your soul, there's always that purity that tries to manifest itself through you. So a soulful entrepreneur is that person that is trying to create a solution to a problem, but of course ensuring that that solution or that business is coming from deep within him. There's that connection between him and the business that is inseparable, because again, you have to ensure that whatever you're doing has a positive impact to the world. And the world here means the nature, the environment, how you treat your customers and such like things. So, but when you look at the many definitions of the word soulful from the dictionary, you realize that some of them say that soulfulness is that expression of a feeling, an emotion. And you know, a feeling, talking about the feeling or the emotion, it means that it's from deep down your heart, from your soul and such like things, expressing deep feeling. So you can imagine you're expressing some deep feeling when running a business. It then means that the kind of a business that you will run will have a very, very huge connection with yourself, in such a way that you will be doing whatever you're doing is something that does not, you will not keep on looking at the clock like what's the time and such like things. You're doing something that is in from the bottom of your soul, the highest point of your spirit. And of course, soulfulness from the dictionaries, it means it's full of vigor, energetic, it's full of emotions and full of vigor. Now, when we are looking at sorting out problems that the communities experience through setting up businesses as an entrepreneur, for one to be a soulful entrepreneur, we need to look at how that solution of that business will bring in an aspect of a win-win. So the greatest questions here that we need to ask ourselves is, this kind of a solution that I want to bring to the community, this business that I want to set up, who really needs my products and services? Am I the subject matter expert in as far as these products and services are concerned? Will there be a win-win situation in as far as selling of these products are concerned and such like things? So in a nutshell then, having combined all this, then we can get an explanation, or we can get the definition of a soulful entrepreneur, meaning that a soulful entrepreneur is that business person that works, that has his or her business connected to the core of the soul. And the reason as to why it's connected to the core of the soul is because he or she respects the divine power, the divine nature. Hence, he knows that these solutions that he's bringing to the community must be from within him, and they must be, there must be a purpose that is self-driven from deep down his or her soul. Now, I wanted us also to look at the pillars or some of the principles that a soulful entrepreneur enjoys in his or her day-to-day running of his business. And you'll realize that when you're doing this business from deep within yourself, from the soul, then it becomes very connected to you. Very connected means that you and your business are inseparable. So one of the principles of being a soulful entrepreneur is the connectivity, the business and the soul. Another principle an entrepreneur, a soulful entrepreneur enjoys is the calmness. Calmness. You can imagine when you're doing something in calmness, it brings out a sense of confidence, because of course when you're calm, one, your output is at 100% because you're calm. Your articulateness, you're very articulate to even very fine details because you're calm. You're not perplexed. You're not doing this in a hurry. You're not doing this because someone is coercing you. No, you're very calm. So you can imagine yourself running a business where you're very calm. Your clients will be fulfilled. Your services to the clients or the products will be very fulfilling. You'll have regular customers coming back to you because they know that here is where our needs will be met. And the other one is, I mentioned it, it's the confidence that you get. And the reason is why you're getting confident here is because it's you. It's you, the you in you, that soul. You're very confident that whatever you're doing is at the core of your soul. And you feel very much excited due to the fact that you'll see the feedback that you're even getting from your clients, very positive feedbacks. You'll also feel fulfilled yourself because human beings like doing things that are successful. And when you realize that you're doing something that is very successful, you become very much fulfilled, you become very inspired, and you become very motivated to continue improving, because of course we also need to factor in the aspect of continuous improvement, because what was there in the 20th century is not what is here now with us in the 21st century. So if one needs or wants to become a soulful entrepreneur, those are some of the principles that you'll enjoy. And there's no business in this world that would, or there's no business person in this world that would not want to be calm in executing their businesses. There's no one that would not want to be fulfilled or even motivated as they run their businesses and such like things. Those are the principles, yes. But now there comes a question. What are some of the keys to a soulful business? The keys to a soulful business. What does that mean if I try to demystify? How do I ensure that my business is soulful? How do I ensure that my business is connected to the inner me so that I can get the calmness, the confidence, the motivation, and such like things? One, you have to be an expert in something. The reason as to why I'm saying this is because you can imagine setting up a business or starting something that you've got no clue about. There's no way, there's no instance that you will ever get motivated, because you'll always be perturbed. You'll never be calm because you're not a subject matter expert in as far as that aspect is concerned. So every now and then you'll be feeling like someone somewhere realizes that I'm not good in this, or how do I do this, and such like things. So for you to ensure that the kind of a business that you're doing comes from the core of your heart, the core of your spirit, you need to be a subject matter expert. You need to be an expert in whatever you're doing. So that means you find a niche that is giving you an opportunity to dispense a solution to the community, so that you can have it coined to your soul. The next thing is to learn to create. Learn to co-create with the divine power. Divine power means you have to even listen to the divine power. I mentioned during my introduction on my first slides that every human being thrives or tries to create something. So we need to co-create with the divine power, that power that is above us. How often do we listen to it? How often do we listen? How often do we even give an ear to the divine power, so that whatever we are doing has been inspired by the divine power? And any time that we execute anything that is informed or inspired by the divine power, it becomes connected to us, very connected to us. It becomes, or it makes us feel very motivated, and it also makes us feel like we are not working. It also makes feel it's a source of a motivation, yeah? Then you need to deliver a service or a product that is of high quality, that is on the next level, as a soulful entrepreneur, because a product that is of the higher level, it means you need to have scanned your market and looked at aspects revolving around what will be like my market segmentation. Who needs my product, right? How many products of such nature are existing in the current market? How am I going to create a win-win? Because again, remember we mentioned that a soulful entrepreneur is not just any form of an entrepreneur. He's not just an entrepreneur. He or she looks at the way that there shall be a win-win situation, not a lose-win or any other way. So you need to bring out or give out products and services that are of high level. After scanning your market, of ensuring that there's a win-win situation, then your products become of the next level, a very high level. Then another aspect that we need to look at as a soulful business is you need to have a great practice and faith. Practice and faith. Those are very, very powerful words. Faith. Faith is believing. You believe that this business that I want to run will be successful. If, for example, you want to be a motivational speaker, or you are a tutor, a trainer, and you've set up some courses for yourself, once you set up the classrooms, have faith that I'm very sure that on the day of opening, I'll have full capacity class. But it's not just faith, it's faith with practice. Practice means trying that thing every now and then until it resonates with your vision, your mission, your purpose, your goals in life, and your goals in this business. Practicing. And once you practice, that's where the aspect of even owning the process comes in. That's where the process of even connecting your business idea with your inner self comes in, because it becomes part of you. You can imagine a marathon runner preparing for a race. Then he or she decides not to practice because if he or she feels that he's good, I'm pretty sure that your answers to whether he will win or not are as good as mine. He will not win because he has not been practicing. So for you to enjoy or to become a soulful entrepreneur, you have to have faith in that divine power, and ensure that you practice every now and then. And there are two aspects to ensure that faith and practice are working. And these two aspects I would talk about is prayer. You need to pray. And my definition of prayer is that praying is asking what you need from a divine power. You asking what you need from a divine power. Whereas meditating or meditation is listening. You just sit down calmly and let the divine power communicate to you. And the way for you to understand how the divine power is communicating to you is by becoming calm and meditating and giving a chance to the divine power to communicate to you. So these two aspects are inseparable. Faith, practice, prayer, and meditating, because there's no way that you shall only be asking for needs, for what you need from the divine power, without giving the divine power a chance to communicate to you, without giving a hearing ear to the divine power. And the way to do this is through meditation. Trust your team. You cannot do it all alone. I mentioned that you cannot do it all alone, meaning you have to get some few people here and there, some subject matter experts in as far as your business model is concerned, so that they can assist you. But you need to trust them. And the way to trust them is to ensure that you get some like-minded people. You can imagine running a business where you're trusting no one. One, We talked about what you enjoy after being a soulful entrepreneur, like being calm and such like things. If you're doing everything without involving a team, you will become fatigued. You'll become a jack of all trades and a master of none. And that leads me to my next point, which is delegation. I know it's not quite a simple task for many people to delegate. Some people feel like if I try to delegate this activity to someone, maybe they'll not do it to the way I would like it to be. But it's always good to delegate. Learn to delegate some aspects of your businesses, because once you delegate, you'll realize that your output multiplies. There's what we call division of labor as well as specialization. If you are in an IT firm or you've decided to set up an IT business, you cannot be the accountant. At the same time, you're the human resource manager. At the same time, you're the design guy. At the same time, you're the communication person. It will become like a concoction of confusion. And to avoid that as a soulful entrepreneur, you need to learn this aspect of delegating. Then there's also a very key important point that a soulful entrepreneur needs to strive to get, and that is being relevant. Wow. Being relevant and being visible. Being relevant means being very updated, working as per that time. A very good example is training institutions. You saw how COVID affected training institutions. Training institutions were closed down, and students, trainees, pupils were supposed to stay home. But how did the institutions try to bridge in that gap or to react to that problem? They started thinking of some learning management system, some online learning modules, so that at least training could continue. So what that tells you is that these entrepreneurs, the owners of these of these schools, tried to become relevant by trying to be very innovative. So one thing about being relevant is that it gives you an opportunity to innovate, to try and innovate. Visibility means maybe you need your clients, your target clients needs to know and to know and see you. Seeing you means maybe you need to have a website, maybe a social media platform where your products are, a business card and such like things. But these are not enough for you to become relevant. That's the reason why you need to keep updating yourselves on the trends that are happening in the world, so that you can be relevant in as far as your business is concerned. Now, I also wanted us to look at some of the questions that a soulful entrepreneur should answer. Like, yes, I want to be a soulful entrepreneur, but what does it take for me to be a soulful entrepreneur? Yeah, and it's not just saying that you want to be a soulful entrepreneur, but it's always important for the soulful entrepreneur to be actively involved in the campaigns of ensuring that the world, the business, himself are all connected. Yeah, and when the world, the business and yourself are connected, of course, there's that aspect of creating a very interdependent ecosystem that tries to communicate with everything, that makes you feel very much fulfilled. And of course, it's not about creating a job. It's not about just setting up a business as a soulful entrepreneur, but it becomes more of a way of life. You will realize that most soulful entrepreneurs are not just there as business people. No, it has become a way of life for them, because it's from deep within themselves that they are trying to bring in these solutions to the world. And it's very unique. It becomes very unique, a kind of a business when it becomes your way of life. And lastly, how now do you infuse your life? How do you infuse your life in the business? And once you infuse your life in the business, you become inseparable. Your business and yourself are one thing. And if your business and yourself are one thing, then your soul is involved. It's involved. There's no way that you will move away from the soul. And anything that is guided by the soul has that aspect of respect of the divine nature, like I mentioned earlier on. And of course, I wanted us to look at some of the questions that maybe would light up someone to set up their own businesses and drive into being soulful entrepreneurs. And some of them are, how do you ensure that there's a replication? It's not just about you. It's not just about you learning about being a soulful entrepreneur, but how do you ensure that where the world sits, where other entrepreneurs are, there's that aspect of continuity, there's that aspect of continuous improvement and growth of businesses towards the soulfulness. Because once we have a world that is that has businesses revolving around a soulful approach, then this world becomes a better place to live in, a very better place to live in, because each one of us will be doing a business that, one, we are happy about, a business that we know that we are creating a win-win situation. There's no oppression. We are not doing it just like a business, we are doing it as a way of life. And also we are also looking at a business that has those great impacts to the world. And of course, considering that there's that aspect of respect of the divine power, divine nature, there's also that aspect of listening to the divine power. There's also that aspect of an all-rounded sort of a person that looks at ensuring that the solutions that they are bringing in are closer to their heart. So these are some of the ways that I understand about soulful entrepreneur, and I've tried as much as possible also to ensure that the businesses or the kind of work that I do is from deep down my heart. It's connected to the soul, so that at least I can get better results, so that I can be confident, so that I can have an impact to even this life. Because a soulful entrepreneur always thinks about legacy. What will I leave behind? It's not just that people will remember me as the best baker in town, but how will they remember me in terms of the way I did my business? What impact did I have to the community? What impact did I have to the environment? What impact did I have to even the generations that are to come? In conclusion, I would like to also put it very, very clearly that it's very hard for someone to succeed in business if you separate your business with the divine nature, if you separate your business with spirituality, because spirituality guides us into another level of doing things that please us as human beings. And things that please us in most of the times are anchored in our souls. They are anchored in our souls. So how do we ensure that these businesses that we are thinking of are from the heart? I said it. It's through praying. You pray to that divine power. Ask whatever you need from the divine power. And then you listen to the divine power through meditating, giving a chance to the divine power to talk to you, and you listen. And you'll realize that most of the soulful entrepreneurs, when listening, they never lack a notebook, because every time that you're listening to divine power, there are so many thoughts that come to your mind. Business thoughts, there are so many ideas that come to your mind, and the way to ensure that you don't miss any of these thoughts, any of these ideas, is to scribble them down, is to put them somewhere down, so that when it comes to implementation, you can be in a position to implement. Thank you very much for your time, and I wish, and my prayer is that I'll see so many soulful entrepreneurs going forward, so that this world can be a better place to live in, especially a world that is inclining towards technology. Soulful entrepreneurship would be the solution to many scams of businesses that we've experienced so far. Thank you.
Well known for its ancient civilization, home to the longest river in the world, and some of history's most famous monuments, including the Giza pyramids and the Great Sphinx, Egypt is the land from which our next speaker hails. Nihad Khalil is a certified professional life coach and former software engineer whose passion is to support, motivate, and inspire ambitious individuals. She works on replacing self-limiting beliefs to allow them to reach their highest potential, and on reinforcing their self-confidence to excel and achieve success. She focuses her coaching on creating self-awareness, accountability, and living a balanced life aligned with their values. Let's catch up with Nihad as she takes us on a journey of self-discovery and provides us with some practical tools for self-motivation.
Hello everybody, my name is Nihad Fawzi Khalil, and I am a certified professional coach and software engineer. I am from Egypt and I live in Alexandria. Today I will talk to you about self-discovery and self-motivation. I will share some knowledge and different tools to help you discover more about yourself and motivate yourself. Before starting the talk, I like to share with you briefly my story. As I mentioned before, I am a software engineer, and after working 25 years of in the software engineering field, a very stressful and hard-working field, I made a career shift to coaching. It was a difficult decision, but it was a major change in my life that I never regretted. I started a journey since this shift, and I'm still on this journey, discovering myself, my talents, my capabilities, and my life totally changed since I made this shift. I am interested in sharing with you some of the knowledge I got during almost 10 years since I got certified from International Coach Academy. And these tools are very interesting and very helpful. To start speaking about self-motivation, let me tell you that self-motivation is a skill that can learned and developed. So don't think it's a nature, it's just a skill. So let's see how you can learn and develop and improve a self-motivation. According to Daniel Goleman, the author of Emotional Intelligence book, there are 4 elements that make up motivation. First, personal drive to achieve. Second is commitment. Third is initiative, and fourth is optimism. Now let's explore together how you can make up these elements. You need to take 2 steps in the beginning before building a personal drive to achieve. First, you need to know yourself. So start by finding out what are your beliefs about yourself. Do you believe in yourself and your capabilities? Do you think you can achieve what you want? If you don't, ask yourself why. The answer can help you to find some negative beliefs. The second step is to focus your attention on your inner self-talk. What is the voice in your head is telling you about yourself? Is it inspiring, encouraging, and non-judgmental, or harsh, blaming, judgmental, and discouraging? This is another way to discover some beliefs. You need to know your capabilities as well. So you can take a strength test on the internet. There are many. Some are free and others are paid. And they will help you to be clear about your strengths and weaknesses. And focus your attention on your strengths and improve them. You may be interested in developing self-motivation because you want to achieve some goals. So before setting any goals, you need to be clear about the starting and end points, where you are and where you want to be. So you can measure your progress with respect to the start point. Now set SMART goals. And SMART are the initials of specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed goals. Break these goals down to sub-goals and specific tasks. Now you need to know why you want to achieve this goal. The reason behind setting this goal is the drive that will make you move on or not. So ask yourself why you want to achieve this goal. With every answer, ask another why. And do it 5 to 7 times. It will bring you the real reason behind setting this goal. Is it really important to you to achieve it? The second element is commitment. So how you will keep yourself committed? You need to be organized about your goals. So use any tool, electronic or manual, to keep your goals, sub-goals and tasks before your eyes. And start your day by writing your to-do list. Write exactly what you are going to do during the whole day. And focus on only one task at a time. When done, move on to the next. Simply, if you don't know what to do, you won't do anything. So, the organization is very important to keep you committed to your goals and keep you going. Track your progress weekly or monthly with respect to the starting point. Are you moving forward? And celebrate your achievements, even the small ones. If you are not satisfied with your progress, just accept yourself and your achievement. You have done your best, and then revise your goals, your whys, and your inner self-talk. Are they serving you or against you? Commitment means responsibility. So take the responsibility of your life, success and happiness. Initiative means the readiness to act on opportunities. So take action toward your goal. Now that you are ready with your goals, sub-goals, tasks, and plan, just jump in and take action. Don't expect to be perfect, just get your task done. Done is better than perfect. And while developing your self-motivation skill, just focus on getting things done to keep going and accept making mistakes. You fear failure? Reflect about your fears. What is missing? Knowledge, commitment, support, passion, belief in yourself? It will tell you a lot about yourself. Failure is your teacher and guide to self-discovery, so don't fear it. Challenge yourself by trying new things. It can help you discover more about yourself and your talents. It's a good opportunity to know more about yourself. And seize opportunities that takes you out of your comfort zone. We all tend to stay in our comfort zone. But trying new things stretches our comfort zone. The last element is optimism and positive thinking. Optimism is the ability to keep going despite setbacks. So how can you keep going despite setbacks? Find out a positive side in every experience, even the hard ones. Surround yourself with positive and self-motivated people. This is very important. Keep learning and educating yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus your attention on your own journey and the progress you are making. And build your support group. It's very important to have a support group, even a friend, a mentor, coach. And if it's a community, a group of people, it's better because you need someone by your side to support you and to keep you going in challenging times. Manage stress. For some people, stress brings motivation. They do better under stress, while excessive stress can have negative effects. If stress is not serving you, you need to find a way to deal with it and manage it. And I will share some tools to manage stress later in the presentation. Now let's see some tools and how to use it for self-discovery and self-motivation. I suggest here two different tools, silence and journaling. Silence is my favorite one. I practiced silence several times and I joined silence retreats for days. And I sometimes do it on my own at home. It brings me a lot of clarity and self-discovery. I could understand more about my beliefs and my thoughts. So I encourage you to practice silence daily. Do it for 10 minutes in the beginning, then increase them until you reach 30 minutes. How you will do it? You need to set a timer, find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and relax. Close your eyes, breathe naturally, inhale and exhale from your nose. Calm your mind and just notice what thoughts are coming to your mind and let them go. Just focus your attention on your breath. It's enough to calm your thoughts. When the timer beeps, just open your eyes slowly and write how it went. Don't judge the experience like it was good or bad, right or wrong. Just reflect and write down how did you feel, what came to your mind, and what insights did you get. Making it a daily habit is very important because you won't experience the benefits since the beginning. Just keep going and practicing silence every day and you will feel the difference and how it will help you discover more about yourself. The second tool is journaling daily. And just write your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It will help you discover your patterns. And these patterns will guide you to your core beliefs. Just write down what you think. Don't worry about the writing style, the mistakes, the grammar. It's just for you. So you will see how you think and how you feel, and later on you will find out more about yourself and your core beliefs which drive your life. The next tool is the next type of tools is evaluation tools. And here I share two very important tools, the Wheel of Life and Core Values List. The Wheel of Life, as you see it on the screen, is a circle divided into different parts. And there are different forms of it on the internet. Some are divided into 8, others are divided into 12 different parts, and covering different aspects of life. So you can check them and select the one that suits you more. This is just an example, and even the areas labels may differ from one form to another. Here, 8 areas considered, and you will rate how satisfied you are in this area. You will put a point on the number you selected on both sides, and you will draw a curve joining the 2 points. Then you move to the following area, doing the same rating how satisfied you are with this area. 0 means totally unsatisfied and 10 means totally satisfied. Repeat with all areas and see how it looks. Does it look like a wheel? Is it circular? And you need to pay more attention to the areas with the least rating. You may consider the result as a guide for setting your goals. And this tool is to help you live a more balanced and fulfilling life. The second tool, or the second evaluation tool, is the list of core values. Again, you will find on the internet different list of values. Some are short, others are long. So choose the one that suits you and check your 10 most important values. Out of these 10, get the 5 that have the highest priority for you. Write them down on a piece of paper or on your mobile phone so you can keep them before your eyes all the time. And after defining your most important values, go back to your wheel of life and see how they relate. Are you neglecting one or more values and that's why you are not satisfied in this area? Revise your goals as well and their whys. You may discover why you are not motivated enough to achieve your goals. Your values are your guide to a more fulfilling life. These two tools, the Wheel of Life and Core Values List, are so powerful in evaluation, so I recommend that you start your journey by using them to be clear about what is not going well in your life. They will be your reference in the future. And now this is the last tool for stress management and positive thinking. For stress management, I choose silence again. It is very powerful in releasing stress. Silence, breathing deeply, relaxing can get you connected to your heart. So listen to your heart and make it your guide in life. I mean your intuition by your heart. The second tool is self-care. Taking good care of yourself is very important, because if you don't feel well, you won't do well in your life, in your personal life, in your family life, your job, whatever. So take good care of yourself. I share here some activities to take care of yourself, like breathing deeply, taking time off, practicing new hobbies, doing physical activity, eating healthy food, relaxing. You may add whatever activity that brings you comfort and happiness. And the last tool is for positive thinking. It is the gratitude journal, and it is It helps you focus on what's going well in your life. So you write down 5 things in your life you are grateful for every day. For sure, not the same 5 things every day. Find 5 different things every day, and you will find plenty of them. And try it for 3 months or longer, and you will see the impact. I repeat that self-motivation is just a skill that can be learned and practiced. Find out what motivates you and keep practicing. Anybody can develop self-motivation skill. I like to hear from you. So please share with me on my Facebook page your thoughts, your challenges, your personal experiences on how you motivate yourself. And if you use any of the tools, I like to know how it worked for you. Did it help you or not? Just share your experience. My page is at Nihat Khalil Coach. To wrap up the session, I encourage you to start immediately using the tools to get more clarity about yourself, to discover yourself, and to motivate yourself. I hope that you got enough information and you find it interesting and helpful. Thank you for your time, your attention, and good luck.
Now more than ever, there is a call for unity, togetherness, and oneness. Our next speaker will be taking us through the fascinating concept of Ubuntu. Musa Samuel hails from Zimbabwe and is the founder of Ubuntu Labs, Africa's first and only personal growth hub that deals with holistic development of emerging market entrepreneurs, influencers, and institutions. Musa is also the founder of TEDx Harare and is the national coordinator for the Prison Singh Institution, who he has partnered with to create and facilitate social innovation labs, deliver capacity building programs, and conduct action research projects in Africa. Musa recently published his first book, 30 Days of Transformation, A Guide to Your Authentic Self, which encourages the up-and-coming generation of Africans to use authenticity as the new currency of lasting change. Unhu, Utu, Umundu, Omundu, Bato, Ubuntu. I am because we are.
Hello, Makadi, bon dia, bonjour, saubona, karibu. My name is Musa Samuel, and I will be your facilitator for this session that explores the fascinating concept of Ubuntu. Now, this session is going to be as interactive and will explore somatic elements, which means I will be asking you to do some activities, to feel and to sense what your body is telling you, and to have an honest conversation with yourself. Ubuntu is not something that you can only conceptualize with your mind. You must incorporate the body and your full senses. So I will be asking you to participate with an open mind, an open will, and an open heart. So before we get started, let's just take a look at a little bit of the agenda and what we have in store for you for this session. So allow me to share my screen and we can get going. Okay, so you should now be able to see what we're going to have for this 30-minute session. And as I said, it is going to be interactive, so please do participate where you can. We're first going to explore and ask the question, what is Ubuntu? There are so many different definitions of it. And we're going to try to figure out and try to uncover what it actually means for us to live Ubuntu as opposed to just think about it in our minds. Then we're going to go into what I consider are the three pillars of Ubuntu. The first one is to have urgency, particularly in our personal growth and dealing with our past traumas. The second is to have the audacity to break patterns that are personal, familial, and even generational. And the next is to have praxis, which is converting ideas into action and be really focused on solving bigger problems that will have a larger impact in the humanity that we serve. And finally, we're going to have a little somatic Ubuntu experience. That means we're going to access and connect with Ubuntu within ourselves that is connected to each and every one of us within the human race. So I hope you're as excited as I am to kind of get going on this really, really interactive journey. So let us start by asking the question, what is Ubuntu? Now, I have this notion that Ubuntu has somewhat been romanticized. So you get kind of definitions like, I am because we are, or I exist because you exist. And these are true definitions of Ubuntu, but they kind of represent the final stages of Ubuntu, what Ubuntu is ideally. And what I want to do is I want to reverse engineer that and say, before we get to those really romanticized ideas of what this concept is, let's reverse engineer and say, where do we actually need to start off with? What is the starting point in activating Ubuntu? What is the starting point in making sure that we can reach these stages that are so beautiful when we hear them, that we're drawn to them? Something draws us into really, connecting with the word Ubuntu. So first, let us see the context of the world we're in today. And this will kind of explain to you why I want to start kind of with reverse engineering this concept. So again, let me share my screen with you. And what we're going to do is kind of take a look at the world we're living in today. And I want to do this with a definition of what a presenter called Otto Scharman. He is not only a presenter, but he's also a professor at MIT. And he talks about the world having three main divides: the ecological divide, the social divide, and the spiritual divide. And these can be defined primarily with these three main numbers that you're seeing on your screen. The first is 1.5. 1.5 represents the number of the planet's resources that we're using today. So which means with this one planet that we have, on average, we're using about 1.5 planet's resources. Remember, this is just an average. In America, for example, they're using the world's resources for 5 planets. So this just represents the disparity with the usage of with finite resources that we have today. The second number is 8, and this represents the social divide. 8 billionaires have more wealth than half of the world's population. So 8 people have more wealth than 3.5 billion people on this planet. Again, this represents the disparity and the growing gap between those that have and those that have not. And then 800,000 represents the spiritual divide. And unfortunately, that's the number of people that commit suicide in a yearly basis. This is more than the number of people that are killed in wars, natural disasters combined. These are shocking numbers, but this is the world that we're living in. And this represents a reason why we have to go back and understand what it means to have Ubuntu, and why Ubuntu means being audacious, why Ubuntu means walking with courage, why Ubuntu means being brave and empathetic all at the same time. It is a radical concept and not just something that we can think about and dream about and that sounds nice, but it's something that we actually have to live, breathe, and walk. So my definition of Ubuntu is very different from that you may hear with other people who may give different definitions. So Ubuntu is a state of being, but it is not something that just sounds cool. It is a tool for progress that requires courage. Ubuntu is proactive, it is inclusive, it is empathetic, and requires bravery. Why? Because it is in direct contradiction to what a lot of the world is attached to currently. Primarily dominant authoritative power, dualistic thinking, limited emotions, and inauthentic connections. If we were to put to put what the world is attached to currently with what Ubuntu stands for, you will see the stark differences. For example, dominant authoritative power, Ubuntu says have empathy and learning. For dualistic thinking, whether you're right or wrong, Ubuntu says let's have diverse perspectives where everybody contributes equally. Where people have limited emotions and are afraid to tap into their God-given emotions, Ubuntu says there is a wide spectrum of emotions beyond the typical ones that we feel, which we as human beings can explore. Instead of the inauthentic connections that people have in today's world, there are deeper and real connections with authenticity and transparency. So Ubuntu is reminding us what it means to be human. It is allowing us to communicate and cooperate across ego-made barriers that have divided us for so long. Because we as humanity have almost forgotten what it means to be human. A metaphoric example for this is in a story in the Bible, in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve were first being in close presence with God. And the Bible says they walked side by side with God. But afterwards, when they were kicked out, they distanced themselves from the divine. And throughout time, humanity has distanced itself further and further from the divine. And Ubuntu is reminding us by tapping into that divine presence that's in all of us. It is acknowledging it and aligning that presence with purpose. So I would make it like it is a three-step process. The first one being, or asking the question, who am I? Who am I? And then the second is, how do I align who I am with my divine purpose? And then the third step is, how do I share that purpose with the rest of the world in my own unique way? So how do we do this? I talked a lot about reverse engineering the process, and these are the three steps that I'm going to share with you. The first one is being urgency. And when I talk about urgency, I am talking about your personal development, and I'm talking about dealing with your trauma. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to share with you a little simple tool that you can use right away to start dealing with your personal development and your past trauma. And again, I would really encourage you, if you haven't already, to speak to professionals about trauma issues, if you have any things that are blocking you. But what this will do, what these slides will do, will just kind of start the process if you haven't already. And then I would encourage you to continue it either by speaking to me further or by dealing with somebody who can assist you in a more professional manner. So there is this concept called ACRR, which stands for acknowledge, confront, remove, and replace the things in your life that are hindering you from your full progress. I want you to think of trauma as blockages that are kind of hindering you from your full potential. But when you acknowledge something that has happened to you and that has affected you, when you confront it, which requires bravery, right? When you remove that thing and then you replace it with something that will propel you to go forward, that is the first step. So I want to share with you just a little tool. It's called the trauma wheel. And this trauma wheel, and don't worry, I will share these slides with you. So don't feel that you have to take any notes. This recording will be shared with you, I'm sure, as well as the slides. This trauma wheel represents kind of the path we have to go from our outward experience, because trauma creates a crust in our life that makes us very hard to move. You know, when you think about trauma, it's very constricting. Fear stops us from moving forward. And so this trauma wheel allows us to first identify that past trauma, right? At first acknowledge that it happened. And then the second step was when we break through that crust of trauma, we identify that specific pain area. Where did we feel it in our body? What was that thing? How did my body sense that pain that I haven't dealt with? How is it still a trigger, and how is it affecting my other relationships? And then the final stage of that is transformation. And that is when you can allow that past pain to transform into something greater, and then you can start impacting other people as well. And it is a painful process. It's almost likened to the butterfly that has to come out of its cocoon. That's a very good metaphor for that, because that's exactly what happens. You have to break through that crust, and that sometimes can be painful. And that is why a lot of people don't do it. So our intellect has a great way of creating coping mechanisms to not dealing with our trauma in an attempt to protect us from it. But if we do not foster the courage to take back and acknowledge these knots that are in our life, they will manifest into something a lot greater, and often in a destructive manner. So we will see that how not dealing with trauma can create life patterns, which is the second step, that can be ingrained in us and become part of our character. But in reality, these things can be broken. So I want you to think about something. Pain that is not transformed will always be transmitted. I'm going to say that again. Pain that is not transformed will always be transmitted. Remember, the trauma wheel allows you to identify the pain and then which is in the crust, in the outer layer. And then it allows you to break through that pain and then go to the inner layer of identifying that specific thing that caused you that hurt, and then going in further and allows you to transform that. So with the past trauma, the experience, define it as vividly as possible. Identify that pain. What was it felt like? Where did you feel that pain? Go back to that place and feel it. Identifying that pain will also allow you to identify the safe space that was taken away from you, and it will allow you to reconnect with a part of you that is still there waiting to be found. And then once you've transformed, you use this trauma to heal yourself and other people. Okay, so I have a lovely quote that I want to share with you to kind of close off this first element that I've been discussing, with the urgency aspect. And it is a quote by Machona Tiwayo, and it says, "It is in the roots, not the branches, that a tree's greatest strength lies." Now, when we liken this to dealing with our trauma, we have to understand the root cause of our trauma. We have to understand the root cause of our pain. And I understand that these can be very difficult conversations for you to have. Sometimes because of cultural reasons, a lot of us, especially in Africa and a lot of developing nations, because of our culture, we are hindered from talking about things that may have caused us pain before. But if we don't deal with those things will pass on to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. And they will have an impact, on a long-lasting impact on the emerging future. And that actually leads very well into our next element, which is audacity. And when I talk about audacity, I'm talking about breaking patterns. Breaking patterns in your personal life, in your family life, and ultimately in your generation. Now, what does pattern breaking look like? And why is it so important? Now, to break patterns, I recently watched a talk with Dr. Harris, who is a former surgeon of California, on how childhood trauma can affect people well into their adulthood. She gives this really great analogy that she learned when she was in public health school. And she says, imagine you're a doctor in a village and you see 100 children drinking from a well, with 98 of them contracting diarrhea. You can either write a prescription after prescription after prescription after prescription of antibiotics, or you can walk over to the well and find out what is in it. Now, unfortunately, most of us have been trained to do the former, to administer the quick solution, especially when it comes to dealing what is wrong with ourselves and our families and our institution, and ultimately humanity. There are very few of us that venture to the well, peer deep inside, and find out what exactly is wrong with it. There is even fewer of us that fetch the water to inspect and interrogate it, knowing that doing so will have an effect on every person that will come to that well. The world is in the same situation as that village in this story. People have contracted an illness, but those who have the authority, those who have the privilege and the knowledge and the decision-making usually just try to put a Band-Aid on a leaking wound and it's business as usual. So what I want to do with you right now, and I'm going to ask you to participate in this activity, is I'm going to name some patterns that I have noticed are familiar in my life, but also from the clients that I've had over the last 2 years. And I want you to do a little activity for me. I want you to sit in a very comfortable position. I want you to gently close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do that again. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Very good. Just allow your body to relax a little bit. Now you can open your eyes for this part. I want you to take your right hand and put it on your left shoulder. And then I want you to take your left hand and put it on your right shoulder. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a few patterns that are primarily from the ego. And if these patterns resonate with you, if you identify with one of these patterns, I want you to tap your shoulder, one side of your shoulder. And if another one resonates with you, I want you to tap the other side of your shoulder. Okay? So if I say something that resonates with you, you tap one side. If I say something that resonates with you, so tap the other side, and you do vice versa. Okay? That's the exercise. So close your eyes and get into that position. And remember, you are in a safe place. You don't have to worry about how you look, how you may, be perceived by other people. Don't worry about that. Just gently close your eyes. You are in a safe place. And remember, tap, tap, if the phrase resonates with you. Okay, number one, I have a tendency to judge, compare, and compete with other people. 2, in new or uncertain situations, I often focus on what may go wrong. 3, I usually place blame on others. 4, I try to always fix things and make things right. 5, I am codependent and worry a lot about how I look, if I am liked, and what other people think of me. 6, I have strong attachments to certain thoughts, objects, and or habits that I know are not good for me. 7, I often see myself as a victim and feel powerless in many situations. Now, with your eyes still closed, you can allow your hands to drop in your lap. Just take a moment to assess how you feel and if there are any sensations that are in your body. I want you to listen to your body and maybe think of the emotions that are coming up. If any of those things resonated with you, if you felt offended by any of the things that were said, be gentle with yourself. Okay, very good. Thank you for participating. I hope all of you were able to do so. Now, Brené Brown, who is a magnificent author and speaks a lot about vulnerability, says this: you can either walk inside your story and own it, or you can stand outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. And too often, many of us are standing outside our story, trying to hustle for our worthiness, when we should step inside it and own it for ourselves. And this is a core concept of Ubuntu. Again, Ubuntu is not just something that is captured in your imagination. It is something that you have to embody, live, and walk. Let's go on to our third and final pillar, praxis. Now, I define praxis as converting ideas into action. And when we apply this to problem solving, This is how we start to change the world. Now, I want you to think of a time that you had a problem which you couldn't solve and what you kind of did to do that. And what was the external expression that you had to get from within in order to solve that problem. And I'm going to give you a simple example, a personal example of a time that I had to apply praxis. It had been 10 years since I'd left my corporate position as a management consultant in South Africa to explore what being an entrepreneur in Africa looked like. I made a conscious decision early on to think long term and with the flexibility to pivot where necessary. There were times I had little capital in the bank, but a wealth of ideas in my head. What I realized is that I needed to master very quickly was planting as many good ideas on as much fertile soil as possible. The more good ideas I watered, the more chances ideas could blossom. Little did I know that I was practicing praxis, converting ideas into action. I want you to think of praxis as a muscle. It needs to be trained regularly to get stronger and stronger and be more effective. One of the examples of this was my first published book, 30 Days of Transformation, A Guide to Your Authentic Self. Now, I knew I wanted to write something, but instead of keeping it in my head, I converted it to pen and paper on a regular basis. What started out as weekly blogs and thoughts became an actual book. Fast forward a few years later, and I had accumulation, a content, and 3/4 of a book already written within a year. Since then, my book has been distributed in over 100 countries, used at corporate wellness sessions and entrepreneurial leadership programs globally. So that's just an example of praxis. From an idea in my head came a book, which has come programs, which has come so many other things. It's allowed me to travel, it's allowed me to engage with a variety of people from across the world, just because I converted my idea into an action and it became real. So I want you to think of the importance of pattern breaking and how that can be applied to solving some of the world's problems that we have. Praxis is for posterity, and posterity is about preparing for future generations. And Ubuntu is core to creating that emerging future. Because guess what? It is actually not about you. Your development is not for your ego to shine. It is to set a firm foundation for those that are yet to come. Now, I love this quote by Michelle Obama, who says, and let me share my screen so that you can see it. Do we settle for the world as it is, or do we work for the world as it should be? That is a powerful quotation. Remember, we can either see Mother Earth as a machine, or we can see her as a mother. Those that see her as a machine think that the resources are unlimited and they do not have any responsibility. Those that see the Earth as a mother understand that we are directly connected to what happens with Mother Earth and that we do have a responsibility to play in it. So that is what I believe is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is not only understanding the connection between us as human beings, but is understanding the connection between us and everything that we see, each and everything. So now what I want to do is I want to close this session by having a somatic experience. So again, understanding that Ubuntu starts and ends in the heart, I want you to close your eyes. Again, sit in a comfortable position. And again, let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Very good. Let's just appreciate that a lot of information has been given to you today. A lot of you may have experienced a few sensations in your body, and that's okay. But what I want you to do with your eyes closed is I want you to take your hand, your right hand, and try to place it on your heart. And I want you to try and feel your heartbeat. If you can't do that for whatever reasons, please go ahead and either feel it on your wrist. You can feel your pulse on your wrist, or you can feel it on your neck. Either way, whichever works for you. And just take a moment to understand and appreciate this organ that has been beating since you were in your mother's womb. Feel it pulsate life throughout your body. Oxygen, cleaning your blood. It has never stopped beating since before you were in your mother's womb. This heartbeat is universal. It has no race, creed, or tribe. It is literally in each and every one of us. It is this pulse that makes us human. Acknowledge and appreciate this heart of ours. And understand that the heart plays a significant role in the foundation of our humanity. It is the seat of the soul. It connects us, and it goes beyond the barriers that we have made that divide us. Take a moment to just acknowledge this presence that is there. And don't be afraid to smile. What a wonderful thing it is to be human. And that is what Ubuntu is teaching us. It connects all of humanity. And don't be afraid to feel that. When you're ready, you may gently open your eyes. So in summary, Ubuntu is about acknowledging the humanity in other people. But that humanity has to start with yourself. And sometimes that journey can be very uncomfortable. And we have to appreciate that. But we have to go through acknowledging the things that are blocking us from achieving our full potential. We have to have that urgency to figure that out. Next, we have to have the audacity to break those patterns in our personal, familial, and generational lives. And finally, we must have the praxis, creating that muscle of converting ideas into action to solve problems that will shift the narrative of this world. That is Ubuntu. I am because you are. Thank you very much.
I think it's time for a yoga break. Bring out your yoga mats and let's join Yvonne and Bala for some Heartfulness Yoga.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you all today. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is Yvonne Rajibali, and I live with my family in Antananarivo, Madagascar. And I'm going to be your host today for our yoga session. I was very fortunate that life led me as a young adult to the path of heartfulness meditation, which was life-changing for me. About 3 years ago, life events pushed me to explore other aspects of yoga with which I was less familiar, like asanas and pranayama. It means poses and breathing. The combination with meditation, which we will find in Heartfulness Yoga, was very beneficial for my health and well-being. After a career in health education and teaching, I decided that it was time for a change. I took yoga courses at Heartfulness Yoga School, and I'm happy that I can now share all the aspects of yoga as a yoga instructor and a heartfulness trainer. Today, I'm here with a fellow yoga instructor whom I would like to present to you. P. Bala Murugan, popularly known to his friends and colleagues as Bala, is an interior designer by profession and yoga trainer by passion. Bala grew up with yoga and meditation and became very interested in both. He holds a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, and after his studies, he did a fellowship with Heartfulness Institute, where he became a yoga instructor. Bala is currently working as a yoga trainer at Heartfulness Yoga School in Hyderabad, India. The two of us, and many other practitioners of yoga, have experienced the benefits of yoga on the mental, physical, emotional, energetic, and spiritual level. Yoga is not only a tool or a way to create and restore balance, it helps you also to connect with deeper layers of your inner being. It helps you to connect with your heart and to live from the heart. Besides that, it is also a lot of fun. Instead of talking a lot about yoga, we would like you to get an experience of it. So please prepare yourself now and sit down on a yoga mat or a carpet and open yourself for the experience. Bala is going to lead the session and will demonstrate at the same time. Just try to follow the instructions and try to be open for the experience. Enjoy.
Namaste. So, you guys are ready for the class? Before starting the class, two things. Be aware of your limit. Be with your limit. Don't stretch too much. And breathe, inhale and exhale with a smile. Okay? So now we are going to prepare mentally before starting the class. We are going to have more fun and it is going to be more challenge. Okay? So sit comfortably, keep your back straight with a smile and gently close your eyes. Be aware of your body from top to bottom. Be aware of your breath. Inhale and exhale. Now slowly open your eyes with a gentle smile on your face. Now slowly raise your arm from the side with the inhalation. Interlock your finger, palms are facing up and stretch.
Thank you, Bala.
Nice stretch. Feel someone is pulling you from the top. And exhale, slowly, slowly bring your arms down. Now take your right palm, hold your left knee, take your left palm, place behind your spine. Inhale here. Exhale, twist towards the left and look back. Now inhale, come to center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, come to center. Now, imagine you are going to climbing a mountain. So how you will climb? Like you have to hold the rope and you have to climb. So the same way, come on your toes, sit on your heels, keep your back straight, pulling a rope. So imagine that you are holding a rope. Okay, when you inhale, pull the rope down, left hand has to go out. When you exhale, down. Okay, so we'll do it together. Hold the rope, inhale, imagine that you are climbing a mountain. Fast, fast. Slowly sit on your heels. Keep your back straight. Okay, now you climb the hill. Now it's too cold. When you reach the hill, it's too cold. Now you have to chop the wood. So hold the axe. Imagine that you have a wood in front of you. So you have to cut the wood. Okay. So when you inhale, bring out all your energy and how you will cut the wood. Forcefully you will cut. While exhale, we just make a sound whoo. Okay. I will show you one time, then we will do it together. Okay. With awareness. Now inhale. Whoo. Okay. Now inhale. Whoo. Inhale. Whoo. Inhale. Whoo. Inhale. Whoo. Inhale. Whoo. Last one more time. Inhale. Whoo. Beautiful. Now slowly sit. Relax for a moment. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Now slowly open your eyes. Come on your mat. Come in front of your mat. Now we are going to do Surya Namaskar, sun salutation. Bring your toes together. Stand in Samasthiti. Look friend. Inhale and exhale, palms together, heart center. Now inhale, raise your arms from the front, arch back. Exhale, bend forward from your lower back. If you're feeling you have a pain, you can bend your knee slightly. If you're comfortable, you can straighten your knee. Take your right leg back. Look friend. Exhale. Take your left leg back. Thandasana. Now drop your knee, chest, chin on the floor. Inhale, come to Bhujangasana. Exhale, come to Parvatasana. Now take your right leg front. Exhale, left leg front. Inhale, slowly come up, arch back. Exhale, arms down. Now inhale, raise your arm, arch back. Exhale, bend forward. Take your left leg back. Right leg back. Look front. Now drop your knee, chest, chin on the floor. Inhale, slowly glide forward, come to Bhujangasana. Now tuck your toe, come to Parvatasana. Now take your left leg front. Right leg front. Now inhale, slowly come up, arch back. Exhale, arms down. Slowly come in center of the mat. Close your eyes, legs apart, arms apart. Just observe your body. Take a breath for a moment. Now slowly open your eyes with a smile. Okay, now we are going to do tree pose, Vrikshasana. Now bring your palms on your waist, bring your toes together. Take your right leg, place closer to your perineal. Look front. When you're ready, bring your palms to heart center. Fix your eyeball in one point. Now inhale, slowly raise your arm from the front. Stay here for 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3, and exhale, slowly bring your arms down. Slowly hold your right ankle. drop your right leg. Now the left leg. Hold your left leg. Place closer to your perineum. So balance. This will bring a lot of focus and balance. Okay. So palms on your waist. When you're ready, bring your palms together, heart center. Fix your focus on one point. Now inhale, slowly raise your arms from the front and stay here for 3 breaths. Don't forget to smile. 1, 2, 3. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly bring your arms down. Now hold your left leg, slowly drop. Now legs apart, arms apart. Just take a moment, quick check. Now slowly open your eyes. Now bring your legs apart with a comfortable distance, palms on your waist. Now take your right toe to the right side, left toe slightly in. Now slowly tilt your hip facing right side front. Now inhale, raise your arm from the front. Stretch. Exhale, bend forward.
Stay here for 3 breaths. Hold the posture and breathe. 1, 2, 3. Now inhale, slowly come up.
Exhale, arms down. Now take your right toe in, left toe out. Palms on your waist. When you're ready, slightly tilt your hip facing front towards left side. Now inhale, raise your arm from the front with a smile. Exhale, bend forward. Slowly, slowly.
Stay here for 3 breaths. 1, 2. Keep your knees straight. 3. Inhale, slowly come up.
Exhale, arms down. Palms on your waist. Slowly take your left toe in. Again, take your right toe out. Now, we are going to do Virabhadrasana. From here, you have to keep your hip front. Now, inhale, raise your arm from the front, side. Exhale, bend your right knee, adjust your left leg, and look to the right side. When you are ready and steady, slowly come to raise your arm from the front, Virabhadrasana 1, and look up. Hold. If you are finding difficult to look up, you can look front. Now inhale, slowly come back to Virabhadrasana 3. And slowly stretch your leg. Exhale, arms down, palms on your waist. Take your right toe in, left toe out. Now bring your hip facing front. So when you are ready, slowly inhale, raise your arm. Exhale, bend your left knee. Look towards a left side. Now inhale here. Exhale here. Now when you are steady, now slowly come to Virabhadrasana 3. Inhale and look up. Stay here. Go down as much as you can.
Exhale, come to Virabhadrasana. Now slowly straighten your knee. Exhale, arms down. Now take your right toe in, so left toe in. Bend your knee. Come to Siddha Tadasana. Legs apart, arms apart. Observe yourself. Breathe, inhale and exhale. Slowly open your eyes. Now we are going to do imaginary chair pose. Now bring your toes together. Keep your palms on your wrist. If you have any knee injury or you have any ankle problem, be aware and careful. And if you have a high BP, be aware. Okay. Now slowly bring your arms in front of you, shoulder level distance. Now inhale here, exhale slowly, slowly. Drop your hip down and look front. With a smile. 1, stay here for 3 breaths. 2, smile. 3, now inhale, slowly come up. Keep your arms as it is. Prepare yourself. Sit completely with 3 breaths, slowly, slowly. Okay? Inhale, exhale, slowly, slowly. 1, 2, 2.5, 3, slowly. Sit completely and hug your knee. Keep your back straight. Keep your eyes closed. Now slowly take a support your arms and sit. Bring your soul together. Interlock your finger. Hold your toes. Bring your heels closer to your perineum. Keep your back straight. Titlyasana. Imagine you're a butterfly. So imagine this, your wings. So you're going to fly with a happy butterfly. Slowly, slowly flap your wings up and down. Slowly, slowly. When you are ready and you are willing to fly higher and high, slightly increase the speed of your flap. Flap, flap, flap. Flap with joy and happiness. Fast, 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 fast. This will help you to open your hip. It will help you to stretch your inner thigh muscles. Flap, flap, flap. Now slowly, slowly reduce the speed of your flapping. Keep your back straight. Observe yourself. Now slowly open your eyes. Now release the posture.
Thank you, Bala, for sharing this nice yoga flow with us. We hope you all enjoyed this yoga experience. If you liked it and want to explore more and get a deeper experience, you can watch our free YouTube videos at Heartfulness Yoga. You will find videos for various levels. You are also most welcome to practice daily online with one of our instructors. Heartfulness is one of the main organizers of International Yoga Day, which will take place on June 21st. Since the 14th of March, we have started celebrating International Yoga Day by offering 100 days of yoga with the best Indian schools of yoga. Experts are coming together to teach yoga practice and theory. You can have a look at our website, heartfulness.org/yoga, where you will find information about our events, such as International Yoga Day, our courses and trainings. If you have any questions, you can write to yoga@heartfulness.org, or you can write to me at yv.raji@gmail.com. Thanks so much for having joined us today for this shared yoga experience. We hope you had a good time. Namaste.
Thanks a lot for making time to meet with me in today's session. My name is Dr. Ndumiso Chuma, and I'm a public health specialist who's based in the city of Johannesburg in South Africa. So I'm basically based here in Africa, in Johannesburg. So in terms of my background, I'm a PhD holder. My PhD is in public health. Then my master's is in business administration. Then my first degree is in nutrition. So I'm coming from that particular background. So most of my work has been largely been in the NGO space, where I've been working with non-governmental organizations and community-based organizations. I've interacted a lot with youth programs, and we're currently running various programs and supporting various programs under the Best Health Solutions, a company that is based in South Africa, largely targeted at supporting community-based organizations. So it's indeed a pleasure to be a host for today, and I'm going to be sharing you some information in this particular youth summit. And the focus of today's topic is going to be digital detox. Digital detox. So we are talking about the issue of disconnecting in a bid to reconnect. So as a youth, we are stuck in a situation that says that we are so stuck up with the digital world, with this era of our technology. And at the end of the day, we end up becoming slaves of this technology. We end up becoming slaves of the digital aspects in our lives. So I'd like to thank all the collaborating partners who have made this a success. All right, let's jump straight into it. All right, the starting point is going to be exactly what is this digital detox? So this digital detox is a period of time when a person voluntarily refrains from using digital devices such as smartphones, computers, and social media platforms. So it's a part whereby as an individual you make a conscious decision to say that, for this period of time, I really don't want to be using any of these gadgets, any of these devices. So that is what we call digital detoxing. This is a form of detoxification, has gained popularity as individuals have increased their time spent on digital devices and the internet. So, with the emergence of technology and the internet, so many people now want to be always connected. They want to be always online. You find everyone is online, be it we're traveling, be it we're sitting at home. You find people are stuck up in front of their gadgets, are stuck up in front of their computers. And now this is the time to say, whoa. Guys, let's re-look at this. What exactly is happening to us? Are we now like zombies? What is happening to us? What is this technology? Technology is supposed to be enabling. It's supposed to be creating an enabling environment for us to be in a position to work much more effectively, to work much more efficiently, to behave, to bring about change in our circles. But what has happened to us as a community? We are stuck up on these gadgets. Now, what should we do differently? Now, we're going to be unpacking all these aspects to say what could be done differently. Right? Perfect. Now, so some of the aspects that we're going to be jumping into, we're going to be talking about what is this digital detox? Why do we do a digital detox? What is the impact? What impact does too much technology have on our health? We're also going to be looking at some of the basic tips and guidelines around the digital detox. So we'll be trying to unpack some of the aspects that we can do and some of the things that we can put in place so as to minimize incidences where we are always stuck up in front of our computers. We are always stuck up watching. We are always stuck up in front of our gadgets. So those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. All right. So there's an aspect to do with what used to happen back then and what's happening now. What used to happen back then? What is the difference between the back then world and nowadays? So if we were to reflect a little bit, in the olden days, you'd find that in a house, there will always be one computer. In some cases, for some of us, when we're growing up, we grow up, in poor communities, whereby you find that in our area, you find that there was only one phone in the neighborhood. And we would all go to that particular phone. You'll be receiving the phone. You'll be saying, oh yeah, you have received a call from your dad or from your mom, and they're at work. And so there'll be a phone at work, and then a phone in the neighborhood, like 3 houses away from where you'll be staying, and then there'll be a phone. And then from there, you go to the doorsteps. They will call you and tell you that your mom just called, and then they say that they're gonna call in 5 minutes time. So be by the phone. So then you will then go to that particular phone and then be waiting there for that phone to finally come through. And all your friends will be sitting outside, waiting. I'm actually wondering, what were they waiting for when they were waiting outside? And then from there, finally the phone rings. When the phone rings, you jump. And then you go straight to the phone, and then you pick up the phone and say, hello. And then you are so excited. That was the olden day world. It was like one of those, like, wow. So happened that I ended up growing up. And then from there, when all my friends had phones, they were like those big phones. They were the Nokia 3310. Probably some of you never had that experience. The Nokia 3310s, they were quite huge. Of course, by then, I still didn't have a phone. And amongst my friends, one of my friends had a phone. So amongst my 5 close friends, we all used to share that particular phone. So we didn't get to be victims of the digital world that much. And on the other side, on the computer side, we only had access to computers from the library. And I think in that library, there was something like 5, 6, but there were less than 10 computers. And then we would then go in there, like in circle, in rounds, like we go in and then you experience that computer for something like 30 minutes. And then you go out, the next person goes in, they get to use the computer, the next person goes in. So you were all supposed to book, and then a certain slot, a 30-minute slot, and then you go there and you watch you do whatever that you want to do on the computer. Either you're gonna be typing or you'll be playing. There used to be a game that I used to play which was called Galacta. So I'll be playing that game for 30 minutes, and then from there you move on. Someone else comes and then they do that. But nowadays the world has changed. What is happening? Children, they've got access to multiple devices. So you find that a child has got a cell phone, they've got access to TV screen, to computers, they've got access to tablets, all these things when we were growing up. It was just a pipe dream. We never used to have these kinds of experiences. But now, it's a changing world. It's a changing world. And then in the olden days, you find that there will be like the television, and like where I'm coming from, there will be like 4 channels, but I think there used to be like 1 channel when I was growing up. But nowadays, you are spoiled when it comes to our options. Now you've got Instagram, you've got Twitter, you've got YouTube, and there are lots and lots of channels that are out there. In some cases, you've got other websites that have got lots and lots of content that you can look at. And there's in the olden days, there used to be a watershed on TV. Nowadays, difficulty in controlling content as seen on media. Like there are too many sites out there. And the olden days, there was a lot to do with parenting skills, focused on stranger danger, and crossing the road, all those things, that was the main focus. Nowadays, digital technology makes it harder for parents actually to take control, to take charge of the upbringing of the child. In the olden days, you would know that, I sent them to the aunt to go and learn about this and this. Nowadays, you don't send them to the aunt. Even if you send them to the aunt will be busy on their computer, they will be busy on their cell phone, they will be busy on their tablets, focusing on other things that have got nothing to do with upbringing of the child. So all these aspects are bombarding us, are bombarding our youth. And then it's at the end of the day, there's a lot of content coming in the direction of the youth. Now, think about it. The development of the internet and the technology over the recent years means that we can go online using the following devices. So we've got like computers, we've got laptops, we've got smartphones, we've got games, consoles, we've got handheld devices, we've got television, we've got cameras, we've got watches. So through all these avenues, we've got access to information. And I must say that this thing is good because I need not to stress in going to the library to go and search. I just search online. Even the kids, they don't have to search. They don't have to ask me to say, but then how do you, you don't even have to bother your parents in terms of like searching. You know, you can just go to Google. Google sorts out everything. You know, at times we say, how do we find consultants in this particular space? You go and search online. So a lot of things have happened. There's the positive side to it because of ease of access to information. But at the end of the day, we need a break. Too much information is dangerous. You know, we are being messed up because of too much information. So there is an aspect to do with. Now, you know what? This thing is driving us crazy. There is a problem that we are going to be facing. We're all going to crash at some point. There are some negative implications that are as a result of the digital age that we are growing in. That is a result of the technology. That is a result of the Internet of Things that we are presently going through. So, what are some of the physical health effects of this technology? What are some of the implications that are coming as a result of these technologies that we're being exposed to? So, as we are growing up, as we are youthful by nature, there are lots of problems that are coming as a result of the advancement of technology. And some of these problems, they're coming in, they're affecting our physical health. You find that there is a strain in terms of our eyes. There is a strain in terms of our posture. There is a strain in terms of our sleeping patterns. There is a strain in terms of it reduces our physical activity. So all of these aspects, they come into play when we're looking at our health and helping. So when it comes to technology, there's a strain in terms of our eyes. It's affecting our sight. You find that more and more people are beginning to wear spectacles because of the amount of time that they spend in front of the eyes. And resultantly, we find that people have got blurred vision, they've got strains on the eyes. In some cases, people develop headaches. And in some cases, there is dryness that comes into our eyes because of the amount of light that is getting into our eyes. So all these aspects, they've got a bearing in terms of our survival in the long term and also in the short term. And also the brightness of the screens tends to affect our health and well-being and our survival in the long term. And then there is a part to do with the posture. You see, all the time we're always bending, always bending. When it comes to our phones, we're always looking at our phones and we're always bending. So all of these aspects, they tend to affect our posture and our well-being. You know, our skeletals, our muscles. You know, nowadays, you know, you stretch your neck like this, you hear the sound like ka, 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 ka. You know, in the olden days, they used to do like ka. You know, when you do you go like ka. So you hear your joints. There are all these sounds that are coming out from our joints. What is the problem? It's because of this technology. We're always sitting at one position. We spend the whole day and we're not changing those particular positions. And all of this has got a detrimental effect on our growth. It's got a detrimental effect on our posture. So we need to address all these aspects because in the long term, it's going to affect us dearly. We're going to end up bending like this. It's going to affect our joint. It's going to affect our cartilage. It's going to affect our backbones. It's going to affect our spines. So all those aspects, we need to look at them and say, how do we help ourselves out of this while slowly but surely getting ourselves into trouble? Then the other aspect, sleeping problems, insomnia. People can't sleep at night. Youth can't sleep at night. You find some people, they're inside the blankets, they've covered themselves with the blanket, the phone is here. They hear a small vibration from the sound, they pick up the phone, they are back again. And all of that, it's affecting our sight, it's affecting our sleeping habits. Resultantly, we end up being less productive the following day. We rest less. We are resting less and we are restless. So all those aspects, they tend to affect us as individuals. So it's very, very key that we look after ourselves. We address these issues to do with our sleeping problems. We take away our phones, man. So the other aspect is that it has reduced physical activity. Basically, sedentary lifestyle has kicked in. Who wants to go out? In the olden days, we'll be playing soccer. We'll be pushing bricks. The kids will be pushing bricks on the floor. We'll be pushing cars. You know, we'll be making wire cars. And then we used to go out there and play. Nowadays, no, we don't do that anymore. So we are stuck up in our homes. We are sitting at our homes. You know, we're playing our PlayStation, we're playing games, we're doing the characters. Then from there, we're doing all these other games that we're playing at home. is because we're not going out there to the sports fields. We're no longer exercising. We're spending a lot of time spending a lot of time in front of our computer screens. It's affecting our eyesight. Resultantly, this sedentary lifestyle is translating to what? To things like obesity, to things like all these non-communicable diseases. They are kicking in because of the sedentary lifestyle, where people are becoming obese. There is type 2 diabetes mellitus. There is even like premature death as a result of this aspect to do with sedentary lifestyle. So there are issues that we need to deal with that have got something to do with how best do we survive in this current situation? How best do we survive? How best do we regain, our sight? How best do we regain our posture? How can we slowly transition? From this jail that we are finding ourselves in? How do we detox? How do we take ourselves from this routine, from these daily routines that we're finding ourselves in? So those are some of the things that we're going to be jumping into. We're not going to solve all the problems, but we're going to solve some of the problems. It's going to be a step-by-step process, and we're going to take care of things. Now, there are also psychological effects of this thing of technology. Technology is harassing us. So psychologically, there is an aspect to do with isolation. So in as much as we have been connected by technology, we have also been separated by technology. You will find that you spend a lot of time alone. Fine, there are people that will say that they want some me time. But technology has really distanced us. Technology has distanced our emotions. Technology has distanced us as couples. Technology has distanced the adult-child communication. Adults and children, they are no longer communicating. There is no handover of information from one generation to the next generation. Now, we're no longer learning from our parents. We're no longer learning from fellow youths. We're no longer learning. We're now learning from the global world. And resultantly, we are more loners. We are more alone, much more than the manner in which we think that we are connected. We are not as connected as we think that we are because of technology. So everyone now is alone. They're in their alone space. There is a need for people to begin to engage. People are no longer engaging as they used to before. We no longer hear about folk tales. No more folk tales. In the olden days, we will sit around the fire. There will be folk tales. Someone will be telling the story. Say, in the olden days, we used to do this and this and this and this and this. We no longer hear about the stories about the hare, and the rock rabbit, the tortoise, and the hare. Those stories are no longer handed over from one generation to another because people are busy reading all these other things. They're busy following celebrities. They're busy listening to all this other content. And then resultantly, the culture begins to fade away. All these stories that used to happen in the olden days, they fade away. We've got no one to talk to. We air our views on social media. We air our views, our dirty linen on Instagram. We air our views in all these aspects. But we at the end of the day, we are alone. So we need to deal with all these aspects. And you find that at the end of it all, we end up being depressed. Because we don't have someone to bounce off ideas with. For example, we are chatting on WhatsApp. You see a blue tick, and then someone doesn't respond. Wow, it becomes a big issue. It becomes a big issue. There is even this statement that says that you are blue ticking me. So which means you read my message and you're not responding. And then resultantly, we end up aggravating so many things. There end up being anger and animosity amongst people. So all these aspects, they're as a result of the digital era that we're finding ourselves in. So we are stuck up with these devices, and then resultantly we end up fighting for something that we shouldn't be fighting for. So all these aspects, they come to play, and that is why we need to deal with this discourse. Now, one of the reasons why we need to disconnect in an effort so that we can reconnect. Wow. What could be? Why do we need to detox? Concerns about developing an addictive behavior that some identify as an internet addiction disorder. So we are so addicted and absorbed into this internet. We always want to be connected. We always want to know what's happening. We wake up in the morning, what's happening on Twitter? What's trending on Twitter? On Instagram, if someone doesn't like your picture, it's a big issue. So we are all addicted to this information age. We are all addicted to this information era. aiming to reduce stress, anxiety caused by the overuse of technology. So that's one of the reasons why we want to detox. We want to do some refocusing, offline social interactions and actions. We want to do some reconnecting with nature. It's now time for us to reconnect with nature. You know, I was actually chatting with my friend who was telling me that actually, you know what, my son has never seen a cow before. You know, I'm actually wondering, how can I take them to go and see these cows? Because all the time they think of going home, they think about internet connection. I'm like, hey, my man, we are in trouble. You are in trouble. So some of us, we need to go back and reconnect with nature. We need to go out there to the zoos. We need to go out there for campings. You know, when we were growing up, we used to be Boy Scouts. We'd go for camping. So as to reconnect with nature, we'd go for fishing. So as to reconnect with nature, we used to go out there and have fun. We would fall from trees. We've got scars to show for it. But nowadays, people have got blindness to show for it. They've got obesity to show for it. You know, those are some of the signs of saying that, wow, the world has changed. So there is a need for us to detox. Now, there is a part to do with increasing mindfulness. So we should be mindful of our surroundings. So also to improve one's learning ability by decreasing distractions and eliminating multitasking. You'll find that with the digital age, there is too much to do with multitasking. And then we end up not being effective in undertaking some of the tasks. So there is a need that we become much more effective in undertaking some of the tasks by focusing. So there are no pop-ups. We need to minimize those pop-ups in our computers. All the time we're working on some document and then something happens on Instagram, something happens on Facebook. We end up being distracted. And then we're focusing on our phones, we're focusing on the laptops. Oh, how can we detox? Now, the effects of technology are overdose on children. Now, this thing is even affecting our children. You find that it translates to low academic performance. There is lack of attention. There are some attention deficit disorders that is the result of this. There is low creativity. They don't come up with more creative ways of doing things. Like in the olden days, we used to design cars made from wires. Nowadays, they no longer need those cars. They just go PlayStation route. You know, who design cars made from wires, who come up with all these creative ways of entertaining ourselves. We used to have fun. But nowadays, it's no longer happening. So we need to detox. Then delay in language development. There is less to do with engagement, less to do with interactions between adults and children. There is delay in social and emotional development. You find that the EQ becomes low and low. The IQ also becomes low and low. Why? Lack of creativity creeps in. Now, physical inactivity, which translates to obesity. I think I've told much on that. You find that nowadays, the kids that are growing nowadays, they are becoming more and more obese because there is less physical activity. So what can we do to resolve this issue? We really need to tackle this issue. Then poor sleep quality. Also kids, less and less and less and less sleep. Social issues such as social incompatibility and anxiety. In some cases, you know, some of the kids, they are no longer willing to go out there and socialize and engage with other kids. Aggressive behavior. Because we're being fed with this information over and over again. And resultantly, there is a lot of aggression that grows within the children. Addition to these technologies, you find that people are so obsessed with technology. Phones. Yo, it's tough. And then BMI, body mass index, people are becoming more and more and more obese. Now, how do we detox? How do we detox? Let's jump straight into it. Now, I must say that these solutions, some of the suggestions, they're not going to solve all the problems. It's going to be a continuous and an ongoing process. This is not going to solve all the problems. It's going to be a continuous and an ongoing process. And in the chat box, you can throw in some of the ideas of saying, how do you detox? What can work for you? What is the best strategy that you think that will be most suitable for your case? You know, what are some of the ideas that you know what you go like, no, that thing is not going to work for me. Well, what are your thoughts around the detoxing process? You know, just share in the chat box. You know, share at the bottom. You know, just put some comments and say, you know what, these are some of the ideas that you're having in mind. What could be done differently? There are some of the suggestions that I've heard from interactions with some of my friends to say that, what can we do? So one way is to start the day without your device or gadget. Now look at it from this angle. Some of us, we start our days, let's say 3 a.m., 5 a.m., and straight away we jump straight to our phones. What if the alarm rings? It's far away from where you normally sleep. You place your phone not on your side, not under the pillow. So you place it far away from where you sleep. Some people, they might place it in the other room. So you charge it, make sure that your charging port is far away from where you sleep. And then, so which means when you wake up, don't go straight to the phone. Maybe do the loo first. Do the kitchen for water. Go and bath first. Then when you're done with all these activities, at least it delays the process of you jumping straight to the phone. That could be a good starting point. Because some of us, we sleep on the phone. We wake up on the phone. So, let's wake up in the morning. You do the other chores first. And then maybe come up with a point and say, okay, fine, I wake up at 3, at 6, or at 7. But I'm going to start seeing my phone maybe around 10. Thereabout. So you focus on thinking, being alone. You do some yoga in the morning. You do some exercise in the morning. Some of you are going to the gym. You wake up in the morning, you go to the gym without attending to your phone. And then when you come back, your phone is fully charged. It's still alive. Your phone is not going to die. You're perfect. And then at the end of the day, you end your day without your phone. So as the day comes to an end, you know what? Decide to say, all right, in my bedroom, I'm going to keep my phone at this particular space. And then for some people, they can say that in the evening, I'm going to spend some family time. So which means once I'm with my family, I'm not going to be using my gadget. Once I get home and maybe dad is here, mom is here, I'm going to sit with them and have a chat with them. And also parents, spend some time with the kids. They need your attention. It's good for bonding. It's good for building relationship with the kids. It's good for building relationship amongst partners. So let's spend some time together. Let's all have some family time in the evening. Once you do family time in the evening, everyone else is going to begin to do family time in the evening, and everyone is going to be having some good time with their families, and then it's going to build in the good family bonds. And then test if you can spend half a day without. Just go like, today I'm going to go up until 12 without my phone. All right, don't use the device in the company of other people. When you have got company, don't use your devices. It's always rude for me to be busy on my phone or to be busy on my laptop when someone is talking to me. So it's ideal that let's do some detoxing at that particular stage. Let's not be so much absorbed on our computers. Let's not be so much absorbed on our tablets, on our cell phones. Let's get to engage. Give people some attention. Put the laptop on the side. Talk to someone. Get to engage with people. Look at them. Look at their facial expression. Get to talk to them. Engage directly with people. Then turn off notification. Notification apps. That one is a big one. It's a criminal. You find pop-ups. Every time pop-ups. Instagram, Facebook. From different angles. There is a part to do with cutting down on notifications. Right? In some cases, it's these things that we subscribe to. Some cases, we bump on these things. We subscribe to them without us knowing. So let's go back into our emails. Let's begin to clean up some of these things, some of these notifications. And it's even chowing our data. It's finishing our data. Our data is getting finished because of these pop-ups, notifications, and all these aspects. I must say, these are just some of the few strategies that you can employ. I know you guys have got more brilliant ideas than I have right now. So please, throw them in the dialogue box. Throw them in the chat box. Share those ideas. Let's bounce off these ideas. Let's come up with more strategies to say that how best do we minimize? How best do we detox? How best do we get out of this situation? We are all in prison. We're all in this together. So let's work together and try to detox. If I detox, you detox, and everyone detox, we all gonna be great. Thanks a lot, guys, for ending this session. Like I said, let's kickstart discussions and engage further. If you want to reach out to me, please go to our website. We are from thebesthealthsolutions.co.za. At any given point, you can reach out to us. We'll assist you to go through the process of detoxing. At the bottom there, we have got our email communication in our cell phones. You can reach out to us from our WhatsApp line, and also you can reach out to us via email. We'll be glad to hear from you. What are your thoughts around digital detoxing and all these other aspects that are affecting our lives on a day-to-day basis? We're here to support you and give you some guidance. And we're also here to hear from you. What are your thoughts around digital detoxing in this era? Let's disconnect in order to reconnect with ourselves. Thanks a lot, guys, for attending today's session. Ciao. Stay blessed.
Michel Muelo, a national from Congo-Brazzaville and Luxembourg, has devoted most of his professional life to Africa's and the world's statistics. He was an expert for the European Commission for 6 years before spending 11 years at the helm of 2 organizations working for the European Union. He was the regional coordinator of the International Comparison Program for Africa at the African Development Bank. He also joined the World Bank in Washington, D.C. as global manager of the International Comparison Program until his retirement. But his greatest passion is conscious expansion for the whole of Africa. Bonjour Michel, over to you.
Bonjour ou bonsoir, selon l'endroit où vous vous trouvez. Je m'appelle Michel Muyelo-Katula et j'ai le grand plaisir de m'adresser à vous, jeunes d'Afrique, qui avez décidé de prendre un peu de votre temps et de le consacrer à la réflexion sur Heartfulness. Le sujet que je vais développer, c'est celui de la plénitude du cœur en tant que façon de vivre, façon d'être. La plénitude du cœur est une façon d'être, en effet. Mais est-ce qu'il est possible d'être beaucoup plus concret pour que vous puissiez comprendre ce que j'entends par là et pour que vous puissiez réaliser la manière dont le cœur peut être utilisé, y compris dans des domaines qui généralement ne sont pas associés au cœur. Pour répondre à cette question, il faut d'abord s'en poser 2 autres. Des questions préalables, des questions très importantes cependant. La première, c'est la question suivante. Quel est le but de la vie? Quel est le but de ma vie? Quel est le but de votre vie, chacun d'entre vous? C'est la réponse à cette question qui nous amène tous à prendre conscience de la nécessité de tout mettre en œuvre pour que nous puissions vivre pleinement cette vie selon le but que nous comprenons qu'elle a. Tant que l'on n'a pas de but, tant que l'on n'a pas d'objectif, on ne peut pas parler de bien vivre sa vie. Certes, on peut considérer sa vie en termes de plaisirs sensoriels, les plaisirs de la bouche, les plaisirs des oreilles, les plaisirs relationnels, les plaisirs sexuels et tant d'autres encore. Mais alors, serions-nous nés, seriez-vous nés seulement pour cela? Suis-je un être humain uniquement pour ses plaisirs? Mon être ne se limite pas à mes 5 sens, ni ne se limite-t-il à mon corps physique. Cela suggère une autre question. La deuxième question est la suivante. Qui suis-je? Telles sont donc les questions que j'aime à discuter avec les jeunes Africains, hommes et femmes, que j'ai l'occasion de rencontrer sur le continent ou dans la diaspora. Je leur propose ces 2 questions pour structurer nos échanges et surtout pour aider ceux qui le veulent bien, ceux qui désirent se doter d'un paradigme radicalement différent de celui auquel ils sont habitués. Dans la bouche d'un trop grand nombre de jeunes, le discours sur l'Afrique, le discours sur leur propre vie est chargé de mots M-O-T-S et de mots M-A-U-X qui sont sombrement synonymes. Prenons quelques exemples de ces mots. La pauvreté, la faim, le sous-développement, l'aide au développement, les fléaux du genre Ebola, paludisme et autres. J'ai l'expérience de vie d'un septuagénaire que je suis. J'ai parcouru presque tous les continents du monde, plusieurs fois. J'ai travaillé en Afrique, en Europe et aux États-Unis pour plusieurs organisations internationales et nationales. J'ai analysé l'économie des pays africains et de l'Afrique entière. Et surtout, j'ai observé la jeunesse africaine de Tripoli à Durban, de Monrovia à Addis Abeba et de Brazzaville à Maurice. Je voulais apprécier sa contribution consciente à l'éradication de ces sombres mots M-O-T-S et mots M-A-U-X. Ce que j'ai observé souvent, ce sont des regards d'extériorité. Pour conjurer ces mots et ces mots, on se tourne vers l'Occident, vers ses sciences, ses certitudes, vers ses lois et ses dogmes. Tout se passe comme si, en jetant un pont de rêve entre une vie de jeune Africain et un Eldorado occidental, on pouvait donner du sens à sa vie et contribuer à la renaissance africaine. Ce que j'ai entendu souvent, ce sont des déclamations incantatoires. Pour conjurer ces mots et ces mots, on exorcise des croyances domestiques au moyen d'une croyance réputée salvatrice parce que venue d'ailleurs. C'est comme si le passage des ignorances superstitieuses locales à des affirmations sacrées importées était l'assurance de libération des énergies de la jeunesse. Les jeunes que je rencontre, je les invite à transformer ces regards d'extériorité en regards d'intériorisation grâce à un moyen, grâce à une méthode, grâce à un outil efficace et fiable. Et cet outil, c'est le cœur. Toutes les écoles de spiritualité éclairée de par le monde le savent depuis des temps immémoriaux. La science, elle, le sait depuis depuis quelques décennies maintenant. Ne serait-il donc pas temps que la jeunesse africaine le sache et l'intègre dans son rêve d'elle-même et d'Afrique? Ces jeunes que je rencontre, je les oriente vers des lectures scientifiques sur le cœur, des lectures sur la nature du cœur, sur les dimensions du cœur, sur ses vertus et ses qualités. Toutes les écoles de spiritualité éclairées de par le monde connaissent ces ressources du cœur depuis toujours. En scandant que tous les êtres humains sont des frères et des sœurs, ces écoles de spiritualité font référence au cœur. Ces écoles exhortent les jeunes et les moins jeunes à regarder vers le cœur, dans leur cœur, à se laisser glisser dans le cœur, à s'y détendre, à s'abandonner à leur cœur, pour découvrir que dans l'espace secret du cœur de chacun, l'on voit une autre personne comme un autre soi-même. Les écoles de spiritualité exhortent les jeunes et les moins jeunes à réaliser que celui qui prend conscience des ressources du cœur y trouve les réponses à ces questions. Qui suis-je? Je pose cette question à mon cœur. Et mon cœur, il me répond en paroles, en inspiration, en vision, en rêve, etc. Quel est le but de ma vie? Là encore, je pose la question à mon cœur. Il répond à travers des expériences, des épreuves que je vis, des émerveillements qui surgissent dans ma vie, des paroles, des inspirations, des visions et des rêves que je peux avoir. Et de nombreux jeunes, entendant cela, me demandent « Mais comment parle-t-on à son cœur ?» Ma réponse est immédiate. C'est le Heartfulness qui m'a appris à parler à mon cœur et surtout à l'écouter. Comment? En méditant, en faisant de ma vie un regard intérieur. Pardon pour l'anglicisme que je viens d'employer. En français, l'expression plénitude du cœur traduit bien ce concept majeur de Heartfulness. Plénitude du cœur sous-entend que le cœur est étendu, infini, qu'il est complexe et puissant. Cette expression postule que s'il est une façon de vivre, une façon d'être, cette façon d'être renvoie au cœur. Et cela nous rappelle que le cœur doit être placé au centre de notre vie, sur notre chemin de vie. C'est cela, la plénitude du cœur. Or, tous les cœurs de toutes les vies sont connectés. La spiritualité le dit, la science le prouve. Donc, la plénitude du cœur est la façon de vivre, de mener sa vie. La plénitude du cœur permet d'accéder aux ressources des univers. C'est l'art d'organiser tous les aspects de sa vie en respectant la guidance active et l'inspiration du cœur. Le pont est ainsi jeté entre des instants de jeunesse ponctuée de doutes ou d'assurance pour l'avenir d'une part, et des éclairages sur les situations de la vie procurées par le cœur d'autre part. Ainsi, le jeune Africain n'a absolument rien à envier aux jeunes des autres continents. Chers jeunes, prenez-en conscience et agissez. Soyez concrets. Voyez dans votre cœur ce qu'il faut faire et agissez. C'est cela la méditation. Agissez le long des attributs du cœur. Ils sont si nombreux. Alors, je vais seulement citer quelques-uns. 1. La connaissance infinie. 2. L'accès à la vérité. 3. La transformation et l'acceptation de soi-même. 4. L'intelligence. 5. L'inscription dans l'éternel présent. 6. La liberté par rapport à toute croyance. 7. La sagesse. 8. La vraie nature de l'être humain. 9. La cohérence entre le cœur et le cerveau. 10. Le sens du pardon. Et 11, vous le devinez bien sûr, l'amour. Vivre dans la plénitude du cœur, c'est cela, et davantage. Je vous remercie pour votre attention. La vie vous appartient, toute la vie.
Citizens of planet Earth, please welcome our next speaker, Pierre Ravan. DJ, producer, certified yoga teacher, heartfulness meditation trainer, high-end fashion collaborator, and global club headliner. It's fair to say that Pierre Ravan has done more than most during his 3 decades in dance music. Impressively, Pierre is one of the first to combine feel-good music, yoga, and heartfulness meditation into his Karavan concept. Often billed as the first spiritual house DJ in the world, his Caravan concept combines yoga, meditation, and open-hearted music into one session, creating true dance floor unity. He is also a noted music producer, blending his Persian heritage with his spiritual music or mantra to create a breathtaking array of music, spanning chill out plus a darker late-night deep tech sound. Being the globetrotter that he is, Pierre is currently in Paris, France, where he will be talking to us about how to be fearlessly you.
Do that later.
So it's currently 4:41 here in South Africa. So from my side, good afternoon, everyone who's tuned in and who is watching the Infinite Youth Africa Summit. I am so glad that there have been so many people who have been, involved in and participated in the summit, and we really hope that it's been fruitful and you've gained some value out of the sessions that we had with some of our very dynamic speakers. So we really thank you for your time and for participating and for watching. So to have, I'm very, very, very pleased and very grateful to introduce to you our last speaker for our Infinite Youth Africa Summit, our DJ, producer, certified yoga teacher, heartfulness meditation trainer, high-end fashion collaborator, and global club headliner. That's quite an impressive impressive CV. So thank you so much, Pierre Ravan, for being with us this afternoon and for really sharing some insight to our youth around the topic that you're going to be speaking about today, which is about how to be your authentic self. It's really a pleasure to have you. And I know that you currently are in France, in Paris, France. But you, as we know, you are a globetrotter and you love traveling. And every time we hear about you, we follow you on our social media platforms. We know that you're in a different place, which is really great. So you are definitely a citizen of planet Earth, a true citizen of planet Earth. So welcome to the Infinite Youth Africa Summit, and it's really great to have you here.
Thank you, Vandana. Hello. Bonjour à tous and à toutes. I am really honored to be here today. And as you said, you see, COVID, no COVID, the journey has to go. Actually, I traveled more in 3 continents this year than I did in my previous life. I wanted to greet you all. Bonjour à tous. My heart is with Africa. To be honest, I have a very special affinity. J'ai une affinité spéciale pour l'Afrique. My heart is with Africa, especially from all the time that, I came and traveled to Africa in Kenya last time. And at the same time, the music that I produced had a lot of Afrobeats, a lot of music which it comes from the motherland. Alors, vous voyez, la musique que j'ai toujours fait dans ma vie, mon cœur de la musique, c'était toujours avec l'Afrique. For me, this meeting is very, very important because I feel that there is a bigger need of unity. Vous voyez, on est ensemble aujourd'hui parce que je pense que c'est le moment qu'il faut être unis, le plus grand moment d'être unis. The topic that was chosen for me, be fearlessly you, be your authentic you. It's a very global thing, right? You might expect to say, oh, be yourself, do this. No. I want to start from one point. Alors, vous voyez, le thème qui a été choisi, sois toi-même, sans avoir peur, avec la courage. Je veux vous commencer par une phrase très importante. And the sentence is, if you all had the chance to watch and hear the video of our best friend, I call him my best friend, Daaji Kamleshdi Patel, my guide. Si vous avez eu la chance d'écouter le premier jour le speech de notre meilleur ami, je l'appelle mon meilleur ami, Daaji, c'est mon maître. There is nothing else to discuss. He said it all. But what I do, I will turn it and come back to that it will become a zikr, it became a meditation, a motto in your head. Vous voyez, après ce que vous avez entendu, vraiment, il n'y a rien à dire. Mais ce que je veux faire, je veux prendre le thème qui a dit et je veux l'enverser et arriver à ça, puisque vous toujours mémorisez. What we tend to do in our life, we always compare ourselves. Wow, this guy had a beautiful girlfriend, I don't have it, or boyfriend. Wow, look at this guy. He has a six-pack. He has a Ferrari. He has a job. Why I don't have it? Vous voyez, Ce qu'on fait dans la vie, normalement, toujours on compare avec les autres. Ah, regarde le mec, regarde la fille. Un super boyfriend, et moi j'ai rien. Il y a un boulot, une super bagnole, moi j'ai pas. Regarde son corps, il est fort, il a son six-pack. What happened? We tend to see outside and we're comparing ourselves and we are unhappy. We can never be ourselves because we feel we are missing things that we don't have. Alors vous voyez, on n'est jamais content. Pourquoi? Parce que toujours on compare avec les autres, les choses qu'on n'a pas, les choses que ça nous manque dans la vie. What is the solution? It's very simple. Let me compare myself with myself. Si je peux apprendre à comparer moi-même avec moi, c'est le premier pas. And this first step is very important, isn't it? I have to compare myself with myself. But how? Comment je peux comparer moi avec moi-même? Comment? There is only one way. Till I don't know myself, till I don't know who I am, how can I compare myself with myself? Si je ne me connais pas, si je ne peux pas me connecter avec moi-même, comment je peux me comparer avec moi-même? C'est impossible. You might ask me, great. Then how? And I will ask you, do you know yourself? Je veux te demander, est-ce que tu te connais? If you're courageous and honest, 90% of you will say, not really. Si vous êtes honnête avec vous-même, 90% de vous vous dire, honnêtement, on ne sait pas, on ne se connaît pas. Great. If you came to that point, that's already a good start. The next step, how do I know myself? The self, c'est toi, c'est dedans. Je connais moi-même seulement avec une solution. Je peux rentrer dedans et me connecter avec mon cœur. La seule solution de se connaître pour être capable à se comparer et vraiment se voir dedans. When I say the self is a capital S, quand je dis moi-même, c'est ma nature. Then what is the answer? I want to hear it loud from you. What is the answer? How will I know myself? The only way is to connect with myself. How? I meditate. We will get to that. Alors comment je peux me connaître? Comment je peux me connecter avec moi soi-même? La seule façon, c'est plonger profondément dans mon cœur. That's the first step. Now, the ones who are successful and say, ouch, that's painful. Is this Pierre Ravan that I see? Not the Pierre Ravan that I see in the mirror. The Pierre Ravan, my own inner reflection. Is this you? Tu vois, quelquefois, ça veut dire, ouch, ça me fait du mal. Est-ce que c'est toi, Pierre Ravan, que je vois? Ah, wow, j'aime pas trop. Ou j'aime bien ou j'aime pas trop ici. Then what we put? We said, bravo. Alors aujourd'hui, Pierre Ravan, I will become the best version of Pierre Ravan. What are you saying? I'm going to become the best version of Vandana. I say to myself, okay, the first step, after we get to that, I learn how to connect myself. Ooh, I saw myself. Okay, what should I do? I will become the best version of myself. I did my best. Alors, vous voyez, qu'est-ce que je peux faire? Bon, le premier pas, j'ai pu me voir. J'ai pu comprendre c'est qui Pierre Ravan. J'aime ou j'aime pas, j'ai dit, c'est pas grave. Je veux trouver la meilleure version de Pierre Ravan. C'est quoi la version que je dois arriver que je sois content. Each of us can do our best. I'll tell you a story. I have a daughter, she's 18 years old, extremely stressed, which I will get to that part as well. She had an exam, you know, all of you know, to get to the university somewhere. Every day she was crying and calling me. I am stupid like this. Dad, I don't understand. I will fail. Vous voyez, je vous donne un exemple. J'ai une fille, elle a 18 ans, elle va aller à l'université. Elle a choisi une université et elle est. Elle m'a appelé, dit, je ne comprends pas. Je pense que je suis stupide. Je ne sais pas comment y arriver. What do you think I told her? I never said, oh, you're great, you're the best, you will arrive. I didn't say you're the best. I said, do your best. Become the best version of yourself. And then let it go. And that's the part that we want to talk about. Let it go. Let it go where? That is another question that you should know. Alors, qu'est-ce que j'ai dit à ma fille? J'ai jamais dit tu es la meilleure, tu vas réussir. J'ai dit fais ton meilleur. Fais ce que tu penses c'est ton meilleur. Et le reste, lâche, laisse. Et c'est le débat qu'après on va dire laisser à qui? On va parler de ça. We came to that point. Okay, I'm doing my best every day. I became the best version of myself. I start lying to my boyfriend. I start lying to my girlfriend. I stop lying to myself. I will acknowledge when I sit what was wrong with me. But I need help, isn't it? All of us, we need help. What is the help that we need? We don't need help that somebody give us money. We don't need help that somebody only come and talk to us. That's nice, beautiful. We need the highest help. How to get something which can push us, give us and bring up the potential, the maximum potential in our heart and explode. And then with that help, we can become the best version of ourselves. Alors, imaginez-vous, on est d'accord, vous venez devenir la meilleure version de vous-même. Mais on a besoin de l'aide, n'est-ce pas? L'aide, c'est pas seulement que quelqu'un va me donner de l'argent ou quelqu'un va parler avec nous. C'est sympa, c'est joli, c'est vraiment magnifique, mais ça va pas nous aider. On a besoin d'obtenir une énergie divine, quelque chose qui peut nous pousser à fond, prendre tous les potentiels qui existent dans notre cœur et nous faire jeter. Up. Then we have it. We come back to that again. Remember it, note it down. In these past 2 days, you're hearing it, and you will experience it today as well. We call that pranahuti, transmission, divine energy, which through heartfulness, which is the most unique factor of heartfulness, we call it the forceless force, very subtle. What it does, it unpeel all the layers. You see the onion, you unpeel, you unpeel, you unpeel, and the true potential comes out. This is the miracle. And this is what we will experience today together, if you allow me. Vous voyez, tous ces 2 jours-là, je suis sûr, vous avez entendu plein de magnifiques discours, magnifiques de tous les côtés, mindfulness, des côtés de psychologie. Mais ce que nous, on a besoin, c'est ce que notre âme, our soul, a besoin. C'est l'énergie que nous, on appelle le pranahuti, la transmission, l'énergie divine. Et c'est ça qui va, c'est comme un oignon, on déchire, on devient de plus en plus léger. Et c'est le moment qu'on peut vraiment sauter et aller directement. Now, imagine you got that. You really genuinely got to that point and you know how to become your authentic self very fearlessly because you did your best. I'm getting to what the first day our best friend Daji said. What did he say? Do you remember? Listen to your heart. Écoutez à votre cœur. That's it. Tu es là. Mais la question vient. Vraiment, est-ce que on sait c'est quand que le cœur nous parle? The question is now, do we really know that this is the heart talking? It was a question asked to our beloved friend. When do you know is the heart talking? How do we know that is the heart talking? This is the beauty. Again, when you connect it through that source, this is when you learn that anything which comes, it is the heart. Because feelings are different than emotions. And anything coming out of feeling is from the heart. Anything coming from the emotions, those are the luggages that we want to rid of it. Those are the pattern that through that pranahuti we can rid of it and become so light, we are not full, we are empty. That all can come in us is to listen to that message. That was actually one of the questions this morning somebody asked him. How do we really know that the message is coming from the elders? You remember he spoke to Africa. All the tribe, the kings of Zulu, all how the indigenous was getting messages. How they really know the message is coming from the spirit or from the elders? How? The message coming from here, as our beloved friend said, this is the filter. But to be able to filter that, you have to purify this filter so much. It's like any filter, like a car filter, any filter. You purify it so much that anything come inside is pure. Et you know it. Vous voyez? Alors, le filtre qui est dans le cœur, c'est ça qu'il faut toujours purifier. Parce que quand vous le purifiez, tout ce qui vient à travers, c'est pur. C'est pas mélangé avec des résidus. C'est ça qu'il faut faire. And we have all the means, don't we? We have all the means that we can get. The way I speak, you might think, oh, this is so idealistic. But I have to tell you, I myself, every day, struggle. You know, when you have a family, Master was making a joke. He said, you want to get married or you don't want to get married? If you get married, you suffer. If you don't get married, you also suffer. It's better, at least you get married, you know the experience and you suffer. Look, every day I wake up, I have my issues. Sometimes I feel depressed. Sometimes I feel low. Sometimes I feel so angry at myself. Because I reacted so bad with my child. We are all human beings. We should accept ourselves. Again, what is our authentic self? We don't judge ourselves. There is no guilt in spirituality. We have to acknowledge it and say, I will not do that again. Today, I was speaking so bad to my wife or to my child, and I call myself, let's say, the spiritual person. It happened. I will not beat myself up, but I will learn. When I sit in the night in my bed, I connect with my source again, me and myself. And I said, you acted like a brat. Don't do that again. That's all. You became every day the best version of yourself. Alors, qu'est-ce que je voulais dire tout ça en anglais? C'est très normal de ne pas être parfait. On n'est pas, les humains, on n'est pas encore. On est trop loin d'être parfait. On fait des erreurs. Par exemple, j'avais dit l'exemple de notre meilleur ami, notre maître, qui nous a dit, on a des problèmes quand on se marie et on n'a pas de problèmes quand on ne se marie pas. Parce que, mais c'est la vie. Moi, je suis marié, j'ai des enfants. Chaque jour, j'ai des problèmes. Il y a des journées que je me réveille, je suis totalement déprimé. Mais ce n'est pas grave, j'accepte. Il y a des jours que je parle très mauvais avec ma famille. Et après, je me dis, mais pourquoi j'ai parlé comme ça? Mais il ne faut pas sentir qu'on a fait quelque chose de mal. Il ne faut plus le refaire. Quand le soir, je m'assois avec moi et moi-même sur le lit, je le laisse, je dis, je veux être mieux demain. And this is how things can happen, you know. Just to open something funny, today I was watching an article. It was some African and some people from Peru, you know, really wanted to look for God and go out. You know, we young people love to get intoxication. You know, you want to go and say, oh, today is the party. I want to go. Maybe I want to ask some ayahuasca, or in Africa, I want to take this herb. It is herbal. It is not chemical. But why you want to take that? Because me, I like to reach God and I need something to open up my mind. You know, in the DJ music scene, I could see every day that people tend to take some intoxicated chemicals, which is nothing wrong with it because the intention was just to see something higher. But we don't need anything external. We can reach everything through our heart. I want to not prolong that longer. I just wanted to say something very important. We all go through tough times during this COVID. A lot of us lost our job, included myself. I didn't have a concert for 2 years. I didn't have a job for 2 years, and I have a family to feed. We go through a lot of problems. But what did we learn? Do you think the vaccine is the solution? Can we find the vaccine for our attitudes, not only for the disease? Did we learn to accept and adapt? Did we learn that we can take this as a lesson, and every day that we overcome the problem, we become immune to that problem? And it's all in our hand. La seule chose que je voulais dire, c'est que tout le monde souffre à cause de la situation qu'on a avec le Covid. Moi-même, c'est 2 ans que je n'ai pas de boulot. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on a appris? Est-ce qu'on peut aussi trouver un vaccin pour nos attitudes, pas seulement pour le virus? Qu'est-ce qu'on a appris? Est-ce qu'on a appris à accepter? Est-ce qu'on a appris à adapter? Et le moment qu'on a adapté, et ça fait du mal, on a pu venir en haut comme au-dessous de l'eau, on est devenu immune à propos de ça. I think to not take that longer, we have a lot of things to think. How to become the best version of ourselves, the first step. Second step, how to plunge inside in our heart and try to listen to our heart. Third, how to clean that heart to be able to see the message of our heart. Fourth, have faith. Faith in what? When you got the divine energy, what else do you need in your life? There is 2 things that you need. And with these 2 things, you will always succeed. And as they said in the Islamic country, inshallah, and is love and passion. With no love, with no passion, no meditation, no practice, nothing can help. Develop that love and passion. Develop that fire in your heart. And I am 100% sure you will see so many change and you will be proud of who you are because you are the best version of yourself. Now, I'm sure you have all the questions. If you have, it's a live session. That's a good thing. I will like to request you. We spoke about the pranahuti, the divine energy, right? Why talking about it? Let's experience it. Let's have a starter. On peut prendre un petit apéritif de pranahuti, si vous êtes d'accord. On a parlé beaucoup de pranahuti. On a parlé de l'amour. On a parlé que sans amour, sans la passion, sans le feu que ça vient dans le cœur, on peut arriver jamais à rien. La méditation, la prière, sans l'amour, va nulle part. Alors, avant de parler de théorie, pourquoi on n'expérimente pas? Are you guys ready? Maybe we can start. It will be only 10 minutes. We will start by the guided relaxation. Remember, the guided relaxation, it's not meditation. Guided relaxation, listen, follow the guidance, follow the instructions, and that will relax your body till I bring you to your heart. And when you're in your heart, at the end, I will say, please start your meditation. And how do we meditate? Very simple. You put that subtle suggestion. The divine light is present in my heart. This is not a mantra. This is a feeling. The divine light which already exists in my heart, pulling my attraction inward. And you wait, you just connect, you develop that feeling of acceptance, no judgment of your thought. The thoughts come, you ignore them, and you stay here. After 10 minutes, I say that's all, then you open your eyes. And then we will have 5-minute question and answer if you wish. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire maintenant? On va commencer avec la méditation. Mais la méditation va être dans 2 étapes. Le premier étape, on va commencer avec la relaxation. Mais la relaxation, c'est très facile. C'est pas la méditation. Vous écoutez comment je vais vous guider à travers le corps pour se relaxer. Et quand on se relaxe, à la fin, on vient dans le point de la cœur. Et quand je dis commencez votre méditation, ce que vous faites, vous fermez les yeux, vous mettez la suggestion très subtile que la lumière divine est présente dans mon cœur. C'est la lumière qui existe dans mon cœur. Et c'est ça que vous restez pour 5-10 minutes. Et quand je dis that's all, vous ouvrez doucement les yeux. Et à la fin, on peut avoir 5 jusqu'à 10 minutes de questions que si vous avez. Are we ready? Please switch off all your phones. Put it on the side. Close your eyes. Fermez vos yeux doucement. Wiggle your toes. Bougez un petit peu les doigts de vos pieds. Imagine this energy of Mother Earth is entering your feet. Imaginez que l'énergie rentre dans votre pied. The energy is gently moving up into your knees. L'énergie monte et relaxe vos genoux. The energy gently moving up. Into your thighs. Now you feel your whole leg is feeling relaxed. L'énergie monte dans votre pied et vous sentez que tout votre pied est relax. Now gently move your energy from your lower back, mid back, until the top of the higher back. Imaginez que l'énergie maintenant doucement monte de votre dos, du bas, le milieu, jusqu'à entièrement votre dos. Just feel your whole back area is relaxed. Sentez que tout votre dos, il est complètement relax. Now bring gently this energy into your abdominal muscles. L'énergie maintenant descend sur vos abdomens, gently going up into your chest area. L'énergie monte sur vos côtés de poitrine. Gently go up into your shoulders. L'énergie monte vers votre épaule. Just feel your whole shoulder is melting away, is totally relaxed. Sentez tout votre épaule est complètement soulagée. Now gently move this energy into your upper arm, lower arm, into your fingertip. Maintenant, très doucement, commencez à prendre à travers votre main en bas jusqu'à votre doigt. Feel your whole hand feel relaxed. Vous pouvez sentir que maintenant tous vos doigts, toute votre main, ils se sentent relax. Now bring your attention into your neck. Now venez, prenez vos attentions sur votre cou. Move this energy into your jaw, to your lips, to your nose, to your cheek, to your earlobe. Your eyes are gently closed, and move this energy till the top of your head. Sentez cette énergie monter doucement sur vos lèvres, sur votre nez, autour des oreilles. Vos yeux sont complètement relax et l'énergie monte jusqu'à la haut de la tête. Now just scan your whole body from the top of your head to the tip of your toe. Scan it. And if still there is any areas that you still feel stressed and tense, send that healing energy and make it feel relaxed. Scannez tout votre cœur, de la paume de la tête en haut et les doigts du pied. Scannez votre corps et regardez s'il y a un endroit que c'est pas encore relaxé et c'est tense. Envoyez cette énergie pour le rendre calme et relax. Now gently bring your attention into your heart. Maintenant, très doucement, rendez vos attentions dans vos cœurs. Imagine that love and light exist in your heart and pulling your attraction inward. Imaginez, sentez l'amour, la lumière vous ramène à travers votre cœur. And when I say please start your meditation, just keep your eyes closed and just feel the presence of the divine light in your heart and stay there till I say that's all. And ignore all the thoughts. Quand je vous dis commencez votre méditation, mettez cette suggestion très subtile que la lumière divine est présente dans mon cœur. Et restez là-bas, ignorez tous vos pensées jusqu'à je vous dis that's all. Please start your meditation. Commencez votre méditation, s'il vous plaît. That's all. Just gently open your eyes and close it again. Just try to see yourself and see how do you feel. I would like to know, even in this short version, what happened. Ouvrez les yeux, refermez les yeux. Essayez de voir dedans, dans vous, dans votre cœur. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Note it down if you wish. Écrivez dans un papier. C'est une petite version. Et j'espère que vous pouviez continuer, prendre ça sérieusement et vraiment devenir le meilleur que vous pouvez être, vous et vous-même. And I just hope you can take that further. And if this is something appealing to your heart, take that further with you and become the best version of yourself every day and every day. And this definitely, Heartfulness can help you. Become the best artist, the best DJ, the best sportsman, the best businessman, the best potential artist that is in your heart. This is the last session. I feel it was a beautiful journey. I just hope you guys had an amazing experience. It was a lot of hard work going behind this, behind the scene. All the people who facilitate that for you guys, they worked very hard. They had a day job, night job, but they put their heart into that, not their mind. And I just hope you all benefited from that. And I just hope this will be like a trampoline, and that will help you in life to become yourself. I'm open to any questions. Dear Vandana, if you have anything for me, I'm all yours.
Thank you so much for that very enlightening session. I think it's such an important topic. I think considering how much of exposure we have to information and social media, I mean, even on our phones, we've got filters and, things that take away the reality of who we are actually supposed to be, and the types of things that people put up on Instagram and Facebook, it makes it seem real, but we don't know that we really don't know that that is the real them. And I think it starts to trigger a lot of other things in people like depression and anxiety. And I think it's so important. This conversation is so important for the youth to really know that it's important to be yourself. It's important to find your authentic self in the midst of all this chaos, that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much. It really, really was enlightening. So I do have a few questions that have come through. I've got one from Nicodem. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And he says, please can you ask PA if people with trauma are able to connect with themselves?
The question is in French or is in English?
It's in English. It's in English.
Yes, as far as I know, because I deal with a lot of youth in the fashion industry, music industry, there's a lot of drinking going on. Just to say that depending on the trauma, what kind of trauma? Is a family trauma? Is a personal trauma? Is that person who is on the trauma under medication, not under medication? You see, those are the questions. But in general, the trauma, what happened when it's a trauma? It affects, is like an imprint in our consciousness. And if we can find a means to take it over, it means to delete that imprint, yes, it can definitely help, especially in heartfulness way. We have something which we call that rejuvenation. Without it, today I would not be able to speak to you guys. It's you sit by the sunset and you do it's a special technique that everything which is in your system and leave your system and go. But you see, it's a process. It's not the medicine, that you take it and you think, oh, I'm great. If the trauma effect is in the level that is in your subconscious, you can easily work on it. If it's in such a level that you're on the very high medication, like a antidepressant, like a Xanax or Prozac, diazepam, I tell you all these names because I see a lot of you, then the only way is to keep the chemical going on because you need it, okay? Don't judge yourself, accept it. Do you know how many meditators are depressed and on their antidepressant and they're meditators? You give a break, you let that finish, and then you connect. There is a way, but self-love, self-compassion, don't forget about that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. If the audience would like to know a little bit more about the cleaning process or the rejuvenation process, you're welcome to go onto the Heartfulness website, and there will definitely be more information around that. It is very effective, to help you to clean out those traumas and to move forward. I have another question from Adomati. She's a student of Bachelor's of Science, or he's a student of Bachelor of Science with Education. And he says, in Africa, where talent development is poor, how can I be able to identify my talent at 23? Even though I'm a student, I feel that it's not where I'm supposed to be.
That's a very good question. First of all, you're so young. Please, let's exchange our age, and I could blow the world up. You see, I tell you, first of all, congratulations. Why do I congratulate you? You're 23 and you're listening to my boring talk. That's why I congratulate you, because if I was 23, I would never even bother to listen to this. You did the first step. A big thank you means you're willing to change. You're looking for something. And today, the good news is, my dear, what I know today, if I knew when I was your age, today, I don't know, but it will become even a better version of myself. Like an iPhone, I would have been an iPhone 22, but I am now iPhone 4, the first version. And the thing I wanted to tell you as an artist, I give you an example. I don't know how much you know the music in South Africa. I have a friend, his name is Black Coffee. You know, he has even issue with his hand. He was born. He's the #1 artist in the world. And he was genuine to himself. He was truthful to himself. He said, I will play Afro House. People didn't even know this guy. Today he's the #1 in the world. You know why? Because he believed in himself. He was authentic to himself. And he said, I have a mission in my life and I will achieve. Did I hear you? I will achieve. Having said that, we need help. You can get all the help. Through that divine energy, all the best potential of you will come up. And then you will see. But have no expectation. Do your best and believe in yourself. The last thing I tell you at the last of my speech, put love and passion, and you will see how things will work.
Thank you. Can we take a few more questions?
Yeah,
Do you have time for another one?
No,
Yeah.
I am ready if everybody is not rushing to close the place.
No, not at all. There's another question that's come through, and it's from Priyanka Rao. And it says, what to do when one feels directionless? How does one know if they are in the right direction? Sometimes I feel what am I exactly doing in this world? So I think.
Thank you for this question. I ask myself every day what I'm doing in my world, honestly, especially when I go through issues. I said to myself, was I born for going through all of that? Was this the intention of life? We are born. Imagine, I give you an example. We are born, then we grow, we go to school, then we have to find a job, then we have to get married, then we have to solve this problem. We solve this problem, then another issue comes. Ask yourself, was this the intention of life? To be honest with you, if that was the intention of life, I don't want to live too. I mean, what is this? The directionless is that sometimes maybe we lose connection with our heart. The heart is ready. He want to talk to you. Priyanka, come on, help me out. Get me out of here. And you say, shut up. You ignore it. What? Talk to me. Sometimes you can speak so loud you don't hear it. What we do? We try to connect. Do one thing. Do an experiment for yourself, and then maybe I will be happy to hear it. Start a new life. Say, you know what? For 2 months, forget about it. For 1 month, I will wake up every day by sunrise with this attitude. You know what? I love myself. I want to invite the universe. Forget about whatever you believe. You believe in your religion. You don't believe in whatever you believe. Invite that you love the most in your heart. Hi, come to my house. I prepared your house. I cleaned the house for you. Enter, sit, become one with it. Make love with it. Hold it like a baby in your arm. And then after that, start your day. The evening you come home, you feel stressed, you feel from all over people sucking your energy out. Do your cleaning, do your rejuvenation. Then be light. Then the night, when you sleep, sit at your bed and connect. Connect with yourself. You say, you know what, today I was a pain, or today I didn't do what I wanted to do. It's okay. But tomorrow I will do better. After 1 month, if you don't get direction, then we will speak again.
Thank you for that, PA. I've got another question from Brother Gautam, who's in India at the moment. And he asks, what is soulful music?
Now you will get to the part for it. It's a very good question. You see, I tell you, a lot of people ask me because under my name it says spiritual house. And the minute you say spiritual house, everybody say, oh, are you playing some Venas or something like that? And by the way, guys, I don't know if you all know, that beautiful sister or lady who's interviewing, but she's a very big artist. That question should have been on her. That's why I have to be very careful what I'm answering, because she is an amazing artist, and that's why she will appreciate a lot. Soulful music is the music coming from the heart. It doesn't mean any style. You can play heavy metal, hard rock. I'm not kidding you. But if the music comes from within, has soul. What is soul? Soul is something which is within you and is connected to your heart. That's why soulful music is the music which touch your heart. It doesn't have to be some religious music, or it doesn't have to be some ethnic hymning music, or some Quran music, or some Hindi music. No, it is the music that you can connect deep and extend your consciousness. Because if I have to get more technical, we have a lot of chakras in our bodies. The chakras work with a lot of frequencies, but each of us are different. In me, the music that I play, as my master said, they call it boom boom. For a lot of people say, this boom boom, what is this? Not spiritual. But for me, it is spiritual, because when I produce that boom boom, it touches a core of my heart and I can connect with myself. That I call a soulful music.
Absolutely. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that. I've got another question. How do I know if I am the best version of myself? And that's from Jagruti.
You know, you shouldn't have asked this question. You ruin up my whole speech. You will never know.
Yeah.
Because it's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
You would swim and swim
Absolutely.
and swim. Just do your best. Don't think, is this my last version? Don't you worry. You will be surprised. One day you come somewhere and you say, wow, did I reach? That's all. That's why don't worry about your last version. Do your best.
Absolutely. And then I have one last question from my side. So I know you wear many hats, and so do I. And I'm obviously, we're still so young, and there's so much that we have in our. And I know you wear many hats. You're a DJ, you're a yoga teacher, your father, you're a son. You're a meditation trainer, and you've got so many hats that you wear. How do you maintain your authentic self? During wearing all those hats, because I think it becomes very difficult when you're seeing yourself, when you're DJing, you're in one space. When you're at home, you're in another space. So how do you ensure that you constantly, maintain your authentic self in all those situations?
Thank you for asking this question. First of all, I want to say that every day I'm working on myself. Every day there is something that I feel that it was lacking. Every day I feel I sometimes spoke very badly to somebody. And when I overcome it, and I tell you how, that's the answer to your question. When I overcome it, it's like a liberation. We talk about liberation. We talk about moksha. What is liberation? Liberation is not now I die and I go to heaven and up there all these beautiful girls are dancing for me. I say, oh, I'm here. This is heaven. No. Liberation is here and now. You got liberated. You earned it. You earned that liberation because you worked on yourself and you overcome it. But what is the good news? There is always a help backed by this transmission. And if I'm managing it every day, waking up at 5 a.m. to do my meditation, because at 6 a.m. my child will wake up, then my second child will wake up, then my third child will wake up, then I have to prepare them from the school, then I have to go to work, then I have to go to the gym, then I have to teach yoga, then I have to teach meditation, then I have to produce music, and I'm 52 years old. The only reason that all go well is one thing: I have been whole because I am in love, because I have faith with my higher self, that you can call it your master, you can call it your higher self, you can call it God, you can call it universe, call it what would you like. Be in love and have faith, and you will manage everything comes on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Pierre Ravan, for your time and for answering our audience questions and for your insight and wisdom. I think they thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm looking at the comments on the chats, and they really did, gain value out of your session. And I'm so glad that it was live as well, so they got to interact with you. So I'm really glad that took place. So we really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for being a part of our summit. And we really look forward
forward to having you on our future events and addressing our audience in Africa in the next few months. So thank you so much for.
Thank you very much. And my last thing is, see you all, you know where? On the heaven on earth. We call it Kanha Shanti Vanam in Hyderabad. Let's all have this dream that we meet in person there, and then we shall dance.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And just from my end, thank you so much, everyone, for joining our Infinite Youth Africa Summit. It was really, really a pleasure to have you all, participate in this event. And we're really looking forward to having you join our future events, which you can find on our Facebook page and our Instagram. And you will definitely get notifications from our team around any future events that we are having, during the course of this year. So we really appreciate, you participating and, being involved in the session. And we really hope that it helped you to really start thinking about how you can unleash your potential, for a better future for yourself, for your families, as well as for our continent, because I think we are the future leaders of Africa, and it's really important. And the future of our continent lies in our hands. So we need to make sure that we are evolving, that we are changing, that we are trying to do better for ourselves so that we can help our neighbors, we can help our friends, we can help our families to become, better people, better human beings, and eventually, strive for a better world to live in. So thank you so much. And these recordings will definitely be available on our Facebook page and on the YouTube channel. If you missed anything, or if you'd like to revisit any of the other talks or talks given by our speakers, so please do feel free to go and watch them again. And if you would like to get in touch with some of our speakers, you're welcome to send us an email at youth@heartfulness.africa, and we will definitely put you in touch with our speakers. Till our next event, cheerio. Have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye.